Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Clear and Present Dudes, second episode. Thank you so much for sticking around. If you're a returning listener, if this is your first one, cool, awesome, welcome. We are watching tonight, discussing tonight, Meteor, a classic Sean Connery film from 1979 that can be accessed by searching for Sean Connery Meteor 1979 on YouTube. It's on multiple channels and it's extremely demonetized, so it won't get absolutely destroyed by lots and lots of adverts. With that, welcome to Clear and Present Dudes, the podcast which is a defense podcast, a film podcast. It's both, and yet it's neither. Two naval officers and an incredibly sketchy civilian who's infiltrated the circle talk about thrillers and national security, global security matters, war shit, and how it all meshes together. And hopefully it'll be funny for you. Hopefully it'll be funny for the right reasons. My name's Rory O'Toole. I'm handing over to my friends Sania Bjergsen and Mike Dunbar to introduce themselves, and then let's get into Meteor.
Hello, I'm Mike Dunbar. I'm a naval officer from Newcastle upon Tyne.
Hi, I'm Henry Bjergsen, and I'm also a naval officer from Hamburg, Germany.
So just to make it all abundantly clear, I'm the one who doesn't have access to weapons. And let's go.
Yet the only one with any range time.
This is true. This is true.
This is both true and concerning for national security.
Dudes represents a clear and present danger to the national security of the United States.
You have no idea what men are about and
Okay, cool. So here, well, let's get into it. So, and tonight we're going to talk about a film that I've selected, a film called Meteor. Let's hash this thing out and let's get spacey. So, when we first mooted the idea of this podcast, Meteor was like the third or fourth round I had in the magazine, I think, when it came to films I wanted to talk about. And there's some calls to me, man. Like, it gets me and I get it. I fucking love Meteor. So what we're going to do is, after I professed my love for this 1979 disaster movie / thriller with a truly star-studded cast, we're going to quickly stick on the trailer for you. And following that, we are going to just
Timeless,
get into it.
eternal. For countless millennia, the stars and planets...
This trailer is in fucking HD. This trailer is in HD. The film isn't in HD, but this trailer is. That's a lot of strobe effects.
It was called Orpheus.
That's a lot of strobe effects. Have they gone yet?
Oh my god, Jesus Christ.
It's greater than
It's like
all
10
other
seconds.
bombs.
Here.
Jesus.
Its speed is greater
Ooh,
than any
this-
rocket ever
this-
conceived.
This is not recommended with if you can't have
Its force
stroboscopic
shattered
lighting.
continents.
Jesus.
Okay, the special effects for these titles for the cast are better than the special effects in the movie.
They really are, by like some degree. This is insane.
It cannot reason. It cannot change its course. And it's going to strike the Earth in 6 days.
Yeah, boy. Yeah,
I don't know how
it
its
is.
name was never meant to be seen like that.
That meteor is 5 miles wide and it's definitely gonna hit us.
It's definitely.
And then the lo-fi version of the title comes up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Government, collaboration with the best scientific brains at its disposal, developed the project to deal with this emergency.
Attitude correction complete. Situation nominal.
Ориентация закончена. Положение нормально.
That's Sleepy Joe, Henry Fonda there.
Once the rockets have been launched,
He's
they
giving
switch over to
serious
their own
vibes.
internal decision-making systems. And if these systems perform perfectly, well then, there's no problem. But if there's a malfunction, what are the odds? Your guess is as good as mine.
Okay, we could have just watched this trailer.
We can expect the first splinters in 24
How,
hours.
how is this so HD? Like, is this a secret fucking like special edition of this film somewhere? Even these special effects look better in the trailer.
Yeah. Decent miniature work. Oh.
We've picked up another splinter. A bad one.
You said that the second the worst sailing ship model I've ever seen in a film.
Yeah, that's exactly. I said it. I was like,
It's
oh,
5
actually.
miles wide. It's traveling at a speed of 30,000 miles per hour.
That's Trevor Howard coming in clutch with the worst news at the worst possible time. I really think they should have made more of Sean Connery's presence here, because he's in the movie a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, they're ruining the best bit, where he gets covered in shit.
Yeah.
It's like, that's on nobody's bingo card. That in the movie about the Meteor, that Sean Connery get covered in human shit.
Nobody's at all. Incredible. Read the Warner paperback. This film had a fucking novelization. Why was
I had a
I not
comic
aware
book
of this?
adaptation as well.
It also had a pinball machine tie-in.
I was going to mention that because there's a couple of pinball machines in the background of one scene.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. I mean, we're getting ahead of ourselves with this, but I'm sure we're all going to have opinions on the fucking secret base that has a little nice canteen with pinball machines and stuff.
Yeah.
This is wild, though. How the hell is this trailer so HD? It's from a channel called HD Retro Trailers, not a sponsor. And have a look. So is this a channel that just creates like trailers of things in HD?
It was difficult to tell that, wasn't it? Because
it's got to be. This has got to have some serious remastering done to it.
Yeah, it was pretty smart though.
Yeah, but fucking brilliant. Like, I was impressed by it. Wow. Anyway, so my film kind of sucks now. I've seen that. See, no, so Meteor is it's a film that's ostensibly a disaster movie, yet it's also a thriller, and it's a science fiction film as well. It's a
triple threat.
It's a triple threat, and it comes right at the end of like the whole run that disaster movies had before they got like resurrected in like the 90s. You know, like what started with the Poseidon adventure is like having its last little agonized breaths with Meteor.
So it's funny you should mention that. So this film's from 1979, and it's directed by Ronald Neame, who also directed the Poseidon Adventure in 1972. I was about to nerd out about Ronald Neame there,
Don't do it.
but I'll save that.
Okay.
Cool. So Ronald Neame then, for you guys who might not know him, he's from a proper old Ealing comedy sort of stock. He got his start as a cinematographer, where he worked on a bunch of Noel Coward projects. Most of those were like sort of kitchen sink kind of dramas. I think what was one called We Happy Few, I think was the first Noel Coward movie. And then he also did the cinematography on In Which We Serve, which was written by Noel Coward, but was directed by David Lean. So he's worked with David Lean. And then he also did cinematography on One of Our Aircraft Is Missing, which is a Powell and Pressburger movie. So he's got some really like hardcore British cinema sort of credentials. And then in his directorial career, he did The Prime of Miss Jean Brodie with what's her name? Maggie Smith, Dame Maggie Smith.
Dame Maggie Smith.
And then he means to intimidate me by the use of quarter hours, all that stuff. And then he did the Poseidon Adventure, as I mentioned. And then Judy Garland's last film, Scrooge, with Albert, and then Scrooge, with Albert Finney. Right. So, yeah, he's one of those guys, right? So he's a proper like career director, cinematographer, knows the business, pumps out films like nobody's business. So the fact that this movie is a little bit ropey, I don't think it can be leveled directly at him, and it's probably a bit of a production and exec sort of thing as well. And I think he's obviously a guy coming towards the back end of his career. Maybe his best movies are behind him, but yeah, I get the impression that this was very much a paycheck for Ronald.
Yeah, absolutely. He was definitely catching a paycheck on this one. I did like how we're kind of jumping ahead here. Did you see the little wink that Paul Bradley's boat was called the Blythe Spirit? Which, of course,
Yeah, because he did.
He was a cinematographer on Blythe Spirit. Yeah,
That's right. Yeah.
yeah, and I thought that was pretty cool. And yeah, now I was looking through reviews of this on Letterboxd and stuff for our enjoyable notes in the peanut gallery section, and a significant amount of people seem to have been exposed to this film at quite like a young age. My first exposure to this film was when I was an adult. I was in my 20s. I can't remember a lot about watching this film for the first time because I did kind of party a lot. I have recollection of watching it on digital satellite TV in my bedroom when I was a full-time stay-at-home son. And just the main thing that kind of stuck with me was how it was, as I said to you guys when I was kind of proposing this film. It's a story of this massive meteor about to hit the Earth, and a major plot point of the film was the American protagonists trying to get the Russians to admit that they, like the Americans, also have a massively illegal, secret nuclear-armed orbital weapon station orbiting the Earth. I just found that incredible. It's just incredibly Cold War. It's incredibly wild, and for some reason, this film imprinted on me like a baby bird seeing an adult for the first time, and it's like, you're gonna feed me now, you know, and. Like, and I didn't even see this at an impressionable age. I saw this when I was a like grown ass man, and I'm like, this film fucking rules, and I have no idea why, you know. And then obviously, kind of revisiting it for the pod and stuff, and it makes some weird choices. This film makes some very strange decisions. So kind of following on from the last episode, we've got the sort of format that picks the film, kind of does a recap of the film and its plot and stuff like that. So try and kind of keep it as concise as I can. We have an opening to the film with this kind of spacey synth music for a brief opening credits scene. It's almost like a POV shot from this comet that starts the whole thing off. It quickly takes a sharp turn down the corridor into the room where they keep the stock footage, because like after we've got like a little bit of this like actually okay looking POV footage with what in our context now looks like a load of vape smoke, we see this like, black and white footage that's definitely not widescreen. It's clearly taken from like the 50s or the 60s. This documentary kind of voiceover that even for 1979 already seems dated, talking about outer space, limitless and timeless, etc. Just this whole spiel about film of cosmic explosions and endless turbulence, and then basically, man was terrified of comets, but now we gave names to them and stuff, and this one's come from behind the sun, moving across the heavens, etc., etc. And we'll go back to colour and widescreen as it fades out to the asteroid belt, and this is actually like some of like the better model work and special effects in the film. These asteroids actually look kind of believable. There's a bit of a tonal shift at this point with the music getting more doomy. This long track shot through the asteroid field looks decent. I have this cool transition from space to a sailing boat on the sea, upon which we see our hero, James Bond, Dr. Paul Bradley! Cover ID, I guess. It's like, so James Bond's retired, and now they've created a backstory for him as a NASA scientist. Do we buy Sean Connery's performance as a genius NASA scientist?
Before he gets incarcerated in the Rock.
Before he gets incarcerated, and I guess also before he pretends to be a Russian just to defect in the Red October.
Yep.
So do we as a team or as individuals buy his performance? Is he believable as a as a genius NASA scientist? Because I've seen a lot of discourse about this, and people have very polarized views on it. It seems.
That's a good question. Just before I dig into that, when you were talking about the opening narration, all I could think of when you were saying that was no one would have believed in the last years of the 19th century that human affairs were being watched from the timeless worlds of space.
Oh my God.
From a, ba, ba, ba.
And it's also got airs of Dune, Arrakis, the desert planet.
No, now it is the year 10-1-91.
No, now it is the year. No, now it is the year 1979.
Oh yeah, one more thing.
Dr. Paul Bradley, out on the sea. But yeah, I've seen like punk discourse about is he believable as like a genius scientist kind of thing.
So first of all, let's figure out if he's believable as a sailor.
Yes.
Listen, I am defecting. I'm stealing the submarine, and I am going to join NASA.
That's an amazing Lithuanian accent you have there, Sanya.
Next time, write a memo.
Oh, beautiful voice from Clypeida. So I think right. So my issue with him being a sailor is that he threatens to ram the Coast Guard vessel, which I think even as a world-renowned NASA scientist, he would figure out that he would not win in that particular interaction.
Yeah.
But as a scientist, it's a good question. That so I suppose the short answer is no, because he really fucks, doesn't he?
He's sad.
And not in the way that like Bill Paxman does in Twister, where he's got like a kind of a neurotic energy about him. He just fucks. The only thing that does kind of lend itself to it is the disdain which he has, which you see in his wardrobe, which, you know, some continuity errors notwithstanding, he never looks like he's properly dressed for any room he's in. And I don't know if that's just the styles at the time or just like the utter contempt. There's a bit where he's like in, maybe it's not the Oval Office, but it's something like that. It's some kind of like situation room with like the highest parts of like America's security infrastructure. And he's just cutting about in like some sort of like sports coat, a black shirt with like a stripy tie. It just looks terrible. It looks like a used car salesman. Oh, no, I was going to ask, who are the people who think he is a scientist?
So I've seen people saying, "Oh, he's believable," but I've seen many people saying, "Oh God, he's not believable as a scientist." Like, well, I mean, he doesn't have to be doing science and shit all the time. He's a scientist who fucks, like you said. He's like a high testosterone, muscular scientist, you know.
He's wearing like a big sheepskin coat, like he's just come from a dog track.
When you look at what we're told as the film quickly progresses, you find out that he's estranged from his wife, and he's dressing like a guy who absolutely is estranged from his wife at this point. At one point, there's a point in the plot, isn't it? How the director of NASA gets his wife to put some clothes up for him. But I don't think he's wearing all of those clothes. I think he's just buying stuff like at like the local like Sears or something just to spite her. I mean, his clothing choices, you're right, are wild. I love the sheepskin jacket. He looks like an informant from like a gritty 1970s crime movie. He looks like he looks like he should be being kicked round a back alley by Richard Roundtree for information. Like, you know, like Gene Hackman as Popeye Doyle just punching him in the fucking gut.
That's exactly what I was thinking of as well, as Gene Hackman.
Yeah, Gene Hackman, the scumbag mode.
Yeah, it's the kind of get off my back, man! I told Bumpy. That's the kind of stuff I expect him to be saying. It's like,
Jesus, mate! I am now thinking just of Sean Connery pronouncing the name Bumpy Jonas, and it's killing us. Bumpy Jonas. There's a cat named Bumpy Jonas. Right. The shit thing is, we will never see a film in which Richard Roundtree and Sean Connery are the co-leads and riff on each other.
There'll have to be some awful AI generated thing, and that would not be worth it.
Oh no! You know what? I've actually put it out there into the ether, and someone's going to do it now.
It'd be three tough guys, too.
Oh my god! I'm going to make a blaxploitation film because I'm Sean Connery. I can do any fucking thing I want. like when everyone's got like a proper tough New York accent, but Connery just doesn't because he has it in his he has it in his like contract that he just doesn't do accents. He just talks like himself.
Yeah. Oh my god.
So, yes.
I'm Broadway Sam, the main Mac man.
Oh my god.
I'm from San Francisco.
Good grief. Oh my god. Tremendous.
I think we're losing the flow, man. We're losing the track.
Well, anyway.
Back to the Meteor.
Right, back to the Meteor. Anyway, so the US Coast Guard pull him over. This Coast Guard cutter that I thought was a model as soon as it appeared on the screen, then it wasn't, which was wild to me, because for a few seconds at the start of the film, it did look like a model, but there's people on it, so obviously it's not. So they've got orders from NASA to bring Paul Bradley in, and they say it's an emergency. So Connery responds on his bullhorn with something along the lines of, is he using a bullhorn or not? But Connery responds with something along the lines of, no shit, we're trying to win this race. And I've looked at like a rather sketchy quote unquote scripts website that just looks like AI transcriptions that claims it's so's this, but I really want to be no shit. We're trying to win this race.
Yeah, it sounded like no shit.
Yeah, doesn't it? I mean, like the sound.
So I've got some trivia on this actually. So I think there's an argument to support that it is no shit in the original, and that a TV censorship might have changed it to no this or something.
Ah, yes.
Because there's another scene later in the movie where a line's removed.
Yes, indeed. Which we're going to totally get into. So the Coast Guard taking to some naval base is a little bit of a flex off when Dr. Bradley's like, I would have rammed you if you cut across my bow, and the Coast Guard guy's like, and gone straight to the bottom, which ironically is clearly what Dr. Paul Bradley does when left in the presence of female co-workers. He's summoned to the Lyndon B. Johnson Space Center, where first of all he has his first just excellent interaction with a woman in this film. He meets a receptionist in the building. She tells him that she's got her handicap down to 12. And I'm positive that Sean Connery demanded a golf reference be put into the script because, I mean, it's a special interesting. I do like golf.
I also think he was like, where's the money penny scene? I have to have a money penny scene in every movie. I have to walk into a room.
He fucking
into the ante-room.
There's gotta be a dolly bird behind a desk with a massive Rolodex.
Because that's literally what happens. He has that scene, then he walks into another room where the actual meeting's taking place.
Yeah,
They've just done that for like
it's wild. So then she's like, "Oh, hey, my handicap's down to 12. You owe me $10." And he's about to give her it, and then just finds an excuse to not, because all of a sudden he's been called into the office, and it would have taken him seconds to get that $10 bill out of his wallet, and he just doesn't.
I was not going to make a joke about fight Scotsman. That's what I was going to say.
Oh man! But yeah. So then obviously she draws attention to the fact that there's a big bag full of his clothes, I guess, and he goes into this meeting, the first of many boardroom meetings in this film, with the NASA director Harry Sherwood, played excellently by Carl Malden, who just seems to be, I don't know, man, I love Carl Malden's performance in this film. It's class. Along with an Air Force general called General Easton and two guys identified as a CAP commander. I don't know what a CAP commander is. I wonder if they got it confused with the term Capcom, which was the capsule communicator. But anyway, and a flight controller. So straight away, got Sherwood making a faux pas by explaining the bag of clothes left for Bradley's, because he contacted his wife, Alan, and they've separated. The film doesn't do nearly enough digging into this as you'd expect from a disaster movie. There's absolutely no like, oh, this is terrible backstory about why they're separated. It just doesn't, and we'll kind of go into that a bit later. They start tanning the whiskey because it's the 70s. You know, like there's I'll have a small scotch and I'll have a large one kind of thing. They talk about this new comet that's been detected, how they've diverted a spaceship, a fucking manned Mars probe, piloted by the General's son to check it out. We're going to this flashback, and basically what's happened is they've sent the doomed crew of the space probe Challenger 2, which, by the way, is a darkly prophetic name in terms of space disasters.
Indeed.
To head the asteroid belt to film the comet as it smashes into Orpheus, which is this big ass asteroid. Now, these are America's like finest space explorers, right? And they're on the way to Mars, man. And they're being sent on a high stakes detour that's essentially, hey kid, do you want to see a dead body? Like, let's go to Mars, man. Like, maybe don't divert them to see like the lines, right? Part of the radio communications, 480 kilometers in diameter, which makes its nucleus large enough to do real damage if it hits anything. It's headed straight towards Orpheus, the big one in the center. It's obviously going to hit something and make a really large mess. Perhaps don't be around it. Film it from afar, you know? So basically, these guys got sacrificed on a jaunt. On a bit of a diversion, ADHD moment, you know. Oh, we're going to just send these guys.
Oopsie.
And it's like, would you, if you're on a road trip, like to somewhere really vital, pull over because like there's like a large building next to you is about to get demolished and you want to stand next to it? It's like, no, go to destination. Go to destination, dude. It's crazy. Yeah, so we're seeing through this flashback that the General's son, obviously the rest of his crew were killed in this incident. The General's dead stiff upper lipped about it, and like again, this is like it's interesting to me that the film doesn't lean into melodrama with the whole "oh my god, my son's dead" kind of thing. He's like, yeah, it sucks, you know.
Yeah, that's wild. That.
Yeah, it's yeah. It's like fucking cool as ice, man. Steely. It seems to be very much setting itself up as it's a film about hard men who make hard decisions. That kind of thing, you know?
I was going to say, so I've got the movie running in the background here, and I've just got to that bit where this comet they've come to look at collides with the Orpheus, the big meteor, just to kickstart the events of the movie. And there's an amazing bit where, as it hits, the three astronauts are like all leaning against the window of their spacecraft, looking at it.
Yeah.
And they the main one just goes, "It's coming apart in a million tiny pieces." And then as the debris like inevitably comes towards them to completely obliterate them, all three guys just lean back a little bit, like, oh.
I know, it's great, isn't it? It's like, I mean, there's no like fucking evasive maneuvers kind of thing. It's like, oh, it might be okay, guys. It might be all right.
Yeah, and then it just is a slow pushing on the General's face, which is completely emotionless. Just like, well, that's my only son.
You see, I was about to say, well, at least I've got three more. But yeah, it's like, it's my only son. And it's just wild to me. It's like, yeah, the dialogue doesn't make too much sense. It's like, it's coming apart in many tiny. I don't know.
Well, they also say immediately after that, like, oh, well, there was nothing anyone could have done. We all would have given the same orders. And I feel like, no, we wouldn't have all given the same orders.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have all sent a manned mission to Mars to go and look at something that we know is going to create a shit ton of debris happen at close quarters.
Exactly.
When for the rest of the movie, they've got a load of probes that tell them exactly what's going on with the meteor at any given moment. So why do you need to get the Mach 1 eyeball on it?
I did quite like the model work with the Challenger 2 spacecraft. I thought that it looked kind of believable. It's probably the best model in the film, I think. I mean, I found the weapons stations a bit too shiny and weird looking, but I liked the Challenger 2. I think it looked like a realistic interplanetary spaceship with like late 70s technology that, obviously wasn't designed to enter atmospheres and stuff. I thought that was pretty cool, But then again, I mean, looking at the quality of the model work, this is 2 years after Star Wars and New Hope, and this stuff just, these models are bad.
Yeah, yeah. They're not quite the dome city of Logan's Run bad, but they're pretty bad.
Nobody has to die at 30! At this point, it's like, oh shit, it's on its way to hit the Earth. And then you get this excellent bit of a flex from Karl Malden when he wants them to go to Washington. And it's like, we've delayed a commercial flight for you. And it's
It's like,
absolutely. What? Put on a fucking private jet, dude. You're NASA.
Yeah, I know. I was like, what? Are you what the fuck? They haven't got like any planes going. I'm pretty sure they have quite a lot of planes that they could be doing for this kind of thing. But no, my favorite bit about it is we've delayed a commercial flight for you. It leaves in 1 hour.
Yeah,
but when was it meant to leave? Like when did you delay it? Before you arrived? Oh. You guys meant to be the good guys?
That's what it was. They rang the Coast Guard and was straight on the phone to Delta. And they're like, yeah, tell you what, that flight to Washington, you got to delay it, man. Why? Who says so? Me and the 5 bottles of whiskey I fucking drank this week. I'm NASA.
I'm a bloke from NASA. Okay, well, you're not from the Federal Aviation Authority, so.
There was a conference call for FAA, and like the guy from the Federal Aviation Agency was even drunker than the NASA guy. So they were just like, it's just delayed. It's like NASA, you have planes, really fucking fast ones. Really, really fast ones. Come on, put them in the backseat of a fucking Phantom or something. Jesus.
I love that this is like a flex in the movie that we've delayed a commercial flight as well, where the real flex is I've got a Black Hawk on the tarmac that's gonna, or an equivalent military aircraft, a Sea Stallion. I've got a Sea Stallion ready to fly you across.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, like NASA had and have like fast jets as well. Like I mean, and also it's NASA. They can probably. The fucking press gang, the Coast Guard into the service. They can probably get them in the backseat of an Air National Guard fighter or something like that. But
I mean, they just send a manned probe to Mars, so
exactly. They can send a manned probe to Mars, but they've got to get on the phone to fucking some local domestic carrier and be like, you got to hold the plane, man. We're sending a guy who dresses a little bit like a pimp, but he's got a Scottish accent. It's important he gets on the plane. Like he's like just beware. He's really horny, so make sure the air hostesses are secured.
He's a sex pest, a wife beater. He's drunk.
Yeah. Oh my god. So anyway, he gets to Washington and meets with Sherwood again. Just Sherwood, because they're the only 2 people that they need. Right.
I'm sorry, but you've skipped one of the best lines in the movie as well, where he's talking about how he informs her that they've obviously got him on this flight. He needs to get to Washington. He needs to sit on this committee. He needs to take control of this Meteor thing. And he goes, "You might as well stick a broom up my ass, and I can sweep the floor on the way out."
Yes. Oh my god, I missed that bit.
That smacks of first draft, doesn't it?
Doesn't it? Incredible fucking scenes. That's brilliant. So yeah, so after we get that absolute just mic drop of a line, we also have him saying 5 miles. Shit, when he's told the size of the asteroid, which is another great one. And my favourite one, once he gets to this meeting later on, we'll get into when he's talking about anyway. So then he goes over and he meets Sherwood. Oh well, you're the only guy I need. I don't need the rest, kind of thing. And then we'll get a bit more explanation of what's going on. We'll have this sequence when I have this excellent bit when I need to pull this quote up because it's absolutely brilliant. Meteor Quote blanket of shit.
Oh, we also get the only scene with his estranged wife in the movie at this point as well.
I absolutely love this scene because this is great because you'd think a disaster movie would have these really kind of melodramatic scenes like, oh my god, my poor ex-wife kind of thing. You know, like you would, if you held this to like disaster movie logic of like the like 90s when I had the resurgence, that have a whole B plot about him trying to get back with his estranged wife because they really love each other, really. And instead to get this very cold telephone call that, oh, how's it going? Oh, fine, one of the kids is sick, which means the other kid's going to get sick. All right,
yeah.
Tell the kids I love them. Bye. Like,
yeah.
Bye. It's like, I don't love you, I love the kids, you know. Like,
yeah. She answers. Yeah, she answers the phone. She's like, "I thought you were on the boat. Why aren't you on the boat?"
Yeah,
just like doing his racing stuff. You're absolutely right, though. So, like the what I first thought of when you said that was about the B plot for the estranged wife was Jeff Goldblum in Independence Day.
Exactly. Yeah.
For example,
yeah.
They don't do it. They I was going to say they don't do it. You just, that's it. You have this one scene with the one phone call with the wife that establishes that he's got. In fact, they don't even out and out say that it's his ex-wife. They just you just have to infer it from how cold the phone call was.
Yeah, exactly.
Or sorry, it's not even ex-wife. Actually, they're separated, aren't they?
Separated. And then separated. Yeah, I mean, he's out there laying pipe, and he's just separated, you know. And she's watching the kids. When he's out there racing yachts and fucking. It's incredible 70s. It's very Medallion Man.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're right. They set this up to be like, right, okay, we've established he's got a dodgy relationship with his wife. He was going away on the boat anyway, so she's expecting, so you know he's away. But now she's aware that he's involved in this really serious, you know, like saving the world type thing, but she doesn't know the details. So you think, right, okay, we're gonna have another phone call with this woman later on, probably when the shit's hitting the fan. And he's gonna finally, now with the existential threat of the Meteor, he's gonna say the stuff that he never could say in their relationship beforehand. But that doesn't happen. Instead, he starts macking on with Natalie Wood, and he talks about her to Natalie Wood at one point, which we'll get onto. I think
exactly. That whole sequence is incredible. The whole Natalie Wood flirtation sequence. Well, I'm using the word flirtation very fucking broadly, but that is a very good sequence to dig into. Anyway, so yeah, there's more meetings, there's more boardroom conversations. He talks about, oh well, if you're gonna just bury your heads under a blanket of shit, I'll be in the bar. He then heads over to the bar, and there's a whole thing about how the American people are pissed off that they've learned about this incoming meteor from the BBC.
Oh yeah, I love that scene.
It's great. I love that scene. It's brilliant. I love how like the BBC reporters in London, and it's foggy because it's foggy fucking London town. You know, it's like, Jesus, come on.
Yeah.
We'll have this excellent scene with Sherwood and Sean Connery in the bar, which I think you were quite a fan of, Mike, especially with its incredibly boomer fucking overtones and themes.
Oh yeah. So he's talking about what he's trying to do is he's talking about his what's the specific thing again?
So his son was sick, yeah.
That's it, right? Yeah. That's it. So he's telling a story about how his kid had appendicitis, but that his wife didn't want the kid to go into hospital because she gets really worried about that kind of thing. So he sneaks him out in the middle of the night to get him operated on, and then brings him back, and he's all happy as a clam, having had the surgery, and the wife is none the wiser. And obviously he's talking about that so they can, with subterfuge, sort out this meteor threat without pissing off the president or whatever. Yeah. But the way he sets it up is my kid got appendicitis, probably from eating all that junk food these days. I'm like, what a classic fucking boomer to say something like that and then take no accountability for the fact that you're probably feeding him that food.
He's like, I'll have a fucking large scotch. My wife's a bitch. I hate my son a bit to an extent as well, but I'm going to use this lived experience of managing my bitch wife and my fat lord son to help you navigate the corridors of power to get this orbital weapons station deployed to destroy
My
this
talk-
meteor.
My toxic marriage and family life is going to sort this country out. Not my words.
Oh, good grief! We
We have yet another meeting.
yeah, we have yet another freaking meeting. All of these meetings, most of these meetings could have been emails.
Yeah. It was like that Sherwood and Bradley are in all of the meetings as well. So
Yeah,
we're just following them around the entire time. This time, I think it's the president's there, Henry Fonda,
yes.
whose character name is just the president.
The president, yes, I love that. he's the president. It's amazing. Would you shut up, man? I'm sorry. He does have gigantic Joe Biden energy, and but yeah. So at this point, and as explained, was that the Hercules weapons station was designed by Sean Connery in the 5 or 10 minutes you had between having sex with research assistants to like defend the Earth against the outwardly tiny fucking possibility that a massive meteor would head towards the planet. But of course, the government, what do you know? If you give them access to nuclear weapons, what's that government gonna do?
They're gonna point them at a rogue state or an adversary. Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna weaponize these weapons that weren't really fully weaponized before. So he's not happy, but yes, there is. And the main thing is now that they're concerned about is the fact that they believe the Russians have one. We do get a quick scene with some Russians just talking about how, oh god, this is bad, this could like destroy us and shit like that. Then it starts to explore the whole plot of this Peter the Great weapons station. So something I think that is really great is that the US government kind of announces, doesn't it, that this meteor's on. Oh, actually, no. I've totally jumped far too far ahead.
Yeah. So where we're at is Henry Fonda does a press conference to announce that they have the Hercules thing. So they come clean and say they have it.
Yeah.
And then they say they think the Russians have also had the similar foresight. So they're kind of calling out Russians to admit that they've got it, and then it cuts to the Kremlin.
And at this point, and this is the conference when we've got Sean Connery on a private plane, because now they can get him a fucking plane, and he's watching the news on the TV. Now they can get him a plane. Now they can. It's like,
yeah.
What's the logistics of this film? What's the logistics of it? Jesus Christ. And
I really love, by the way, the fact that they put him in a plane because they're flying to New York. So he's been in. I don't know where he landed initially. Oh, it was Houston, wasn't it? Because the Lyndon B. Johnson Space Center. So he got from sea to Texas, from Texas to Washington, Washington to New York. So they're trying to give the impression that it's like a I say globe hopping, but like, lots of different places, lots of locations. But you don't feel it when you're watching it because it's just fucking meetings inside of small rooms.
Yeah, like it's all like boardrooms and wood panels and bottles of whiskey, and it's very 70s.
Yeah, and then we cut to this meeting at the Kremlin where they're all huddled around the TV, and you know it's the Kremlin because there's a ginormous picture.
Yeah,
tiny little TV.
Yeah, they're just fucking huddling around like the only TV in Moscow, and they're like. What I love as well is that it's unintentional. It's unintentional, but there's a scene when the phone rings and the guy who I assume is the chairman of the Soviet Union answers the phone. He's like, "Hello," and then immediately cuts to a shot of a fucking meteor, and it looks like the meteor's rang him. It's like justice is coming.
is coming for you. Okay, Justin, bye. Okay.
I mean, you guys picked that up right as well. That it looks like it's a fucking meteor ringing him. Like, hey man, yeah, it's me. I'm your Uber driver. I'm gonna come and destroy your planet in 5 days. Is that cool? Yeah.
I'm outside with your pizza.
Listen, I'm your DoorDasher. There were a few things that I couldn't get at the store, so I've replaced them with just like atomic scale death of your entire planet, if that's cool.
I'm just looking at it now. It cuts from him picking up the rotary phone to the meteor flying past against like a perfect solar eclipse, which for no reason, which isn't mentioned again.
Just for no reason. It's like,
and then it cuts to New York Wednesday. To New York. I love that from the very first shot of this movie where you see the sailing boat. It starts by saying Monday on the screen, and it starts the countdown before we even know what we're counting down to.
That's actually a really good point. I didn't even think of that. That's a really good point. I mean, obviously, with the contextual knowledge of having seen the film before, it's like, oh, yeah, it's Monday because there's a ticking clock. But it doesn't give you any kind of suggestion that there is a ticking clock at this point, does it? Really? It's Monday and we're sailing. It's a nice Monday. I'm going to win this boat race. I didn't actually get your guys' opinion there. Does he come across as a competent sailor? What's happening with this yachtsmanship?
All he's so he's not really doing very much. He's on the helm.
Yeah.
He does a little bit of left hand down a bit, right hand down a bit. And then there's a bit where you see them go from a broad reach, it looks like, and then they strike a sail to slow down, which is probably because they're in... I don't know if that happens as they're getting pulled over by the Coast Guard. I think it probably does. So it's believable that they would strike their sails to slow down because they're being made to heave to, because that's what they're doing. They're heaving to. But that's pretty much it, really. He's not really doing anything. He's just gobbing off like any good naval officer does.
Yeah, that's fair. And of course, James Bond was a commander, so...
Yeah, Royal Naval Reserve.
Yeah.
Just gonna throw that in there.
So at this point, we've had that. We've had that kind of weird little edit when it looks like the asteroid's like fucking prank calling the Kremlin, like, "Hey man, it's me, the asteroid. Is your refrigerator running? Then you'd better go catch it. Also, I'm going to destroy the planet and bring in a new fucking ice age, man." Good grief. And then this then takes us to more meetings in the UN this time, in the UN building.
Yeah. And then they go underground, and then we get is this where we have Martin Landau kicking off because he's they're going into his ops room. That's it.
Martin Landau is just so pissed off through the whole of this film. It's great. Like we are then introduced to the ops room from where Hercules is like controlled, and for some reason it's under New York City. Like,
yeah. Well, I was going to say, they do that thing that I love in these movies where he does a little tour of the ops room where he gets to meet all of the secondary characters who may or may not survive the movie, and you get to meet them all. So you meet the guy who's like, "Oh, my son is learning from you from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology." It's like, everyone calls it MIT. You can just call it MIT. And he's like, "Oh yeah, bright lad. He'll be teaching me soon." All right, yes. Cool, you're done. Next one, and then you get my two favorite characters in this movie, which is a woman called Jan and her assistant called Alan, who she's definitely having sex with.
Yeah.
And then they have some so like Sean Connery and Jan. I think Sean attempts to flirt with her. They have some kind of weird conversation about how strong her computer is. Yeah, that's really weird. And then he just goes, "Oh, that's very good. Well, I'm going to be asking it lots of questions." And then she'd be like, "I look forward to answering them promptly." And then the Alan guy, obviously threatened by Sean Connery honing on his turf, goes, triple checked." It's like, no one's talking to you, Alan. And then she's like, "Oh, yeah, this is my assistant and also situationship, Alan." This is...
You know when you get a hotel room and there's that one chair that's facing the bed? Like, that's the Alan chair now. That's the Alan chair.
I just like to watch you guys.
Oh my god. Ah, Daddy, you're such a good data scientist, Daddy. Oh, fucking hell. One meteor hit that girl so bad, put her in hospital on Guerrero Street.
What a story, Dr. Paul Bradley. Somewhere in this ops room, and I haven't found him yet, but somewhere in this ops room, in the background as well, is a young and uncredited John Spencer, who has played Leo McGarry in The West Wing, and is also in Presumed Innocent with Harrison Ford.
For a second, I thought you meant John Spencer of the John Spencer Blues Explosion, which would have been equally crazy.
Blues explosion. Yeah, no.
I mean, he would have been quite young, I think.
Yeah, he'd be very young.
Just he's a toddler, and he's like, "Get down, lover!" in the background.
Yeah.
Shout out to John Spencer. Let's get him on the podcast.
Someone who is not an infant John Spencer as well is he goes over to a little computer, which is or like a monitor, and then we get to speak to Trevor Howard, who plays a character called Sir Michael Hume, or Hughes, who's a British scientist somewhere in Britain, who has one role in this movie, which is to completely fuck it right at the end of the movie, because he's meant to be like his sort of intellectual equal from across the pond, who's meant to help him out, but we don't hear from him very much. And then the one time he is meant to be useful, he gives him the information he needs, but like about 6 hours too late. But yeah, so there's that, and then finally Sherwood comes back again and continues pretty much this two-hander of a movie.
Sir Michael is actually calling in on Proto MS Team's video chat from Jodrell Bank Observatory, and I do think, to be honest, it is kind of cool that American films often don't get other cultures right when it comes to like American disaster movies and stuff, like just like there's like little things that don't get right, they don't pick up on and stuff. Like the thing that really pisses off about Independence Day was the line, "It's old Morse code." It's like, it's fucking Morse code, mate. It's like the British
just Morse code.
Morse code. Oh my god, this is fucking Morse code 0. This is diet Morse code. It's Morse fucking code, mate. And like, it's, oh my god, those Brits are using old Morse code.
Morse code, yeah.
And it's like, it's like, I mean, like the fact that like they actually acknowledge Jodrell Bank Observatory, I think, is pretty cool, you know?
Yeah, man. So on the subject of Independence Day that you raised there, whilst they get the old Morse code thing really, really wrong, the thing that they do get right is that the RAF are sitting inexplicably in the Middle East in tents.
It's wild, isn't it? It's like
it's like, we are there a lot, actually. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's like, it did boil my piss how like, oh hey, RAF pilots, we're gonna train you to fly the F-18s. I've got perfectly functional fucking tornadoes, guys. It's a lot of upskilling you've got to do in 30 minutes.
Yeah. We've got perfectly good planes already here, man. We've got perfectly good.
Like, you Brits are so cute with those coal-fired steam planes that you fly. But this film's got some major endorsement from the military-industrial complex. So we're going to have one static shot of some fucking tornadoes, and then you guys are getting in the F-18s, man.
Yeah,
America!
I love that.
That's brilliant. It's like, listen, the shareholders, right? The shareholders have to be, appeased. And it's around this time that the inveigling the Soviets leads to, of course, Professor Dubov and his lovely interpreter, played by Natalie Wood, whose name I've totally fucking forgotten. I'm so sorry, Natalie.
I think it's like Titania or something.
Oh my god, no! What I'm gonna.
In fact, I can confirm that it is Titania Donskaya.
Right. Yes, there we go. Titania Donskaya. So, Tatiana Donskaya. Right. So yeah, we'll get Dr. Dubov and his interpreter Tatiana to come, and something that I really enjoyed, I thought, was there's a few bits of really nice. There's a few highlights of what I think is kind of fun writing in this. It's quite well put together. I really enjoyed that scene when you've got Dubov, his interpreter, the general, his Air Force interpreter, and Dr. Bradley, and both the interpreters are talking at the same time because, of course, like as Martin Landau explains, he wants his interpreter to make sure that the right things are being said, and this foreign interpreter is not like misinterpreting what he says on purpose. And I found that was quite funny with all the crosstalk and stuff, and then of course Sean Connery's like, oh, I want the pretty one, like. I want the one that I can fuck. And then it's just sexual tension. He wants to have sex. She feels tense.
He's he's given off big divorce man energy here. He's divorced in spirit, if not in law.
He really is. It's like there has never been a man so divorced as this man.
Yeah, and I say that because he's not like overtly acting totally divorced, but in the context of an Earth-destroying meteor that's 5 days out from hitting the planet, I wouldn't be thinking about anything else if my job was to stop that from happening. I certainly wouldn't be trying to mac on with Titania.
Yeah, I mean, it's like shit. Okay, my job is meteors. I'm gonna have sex after I've saved the planet. People are gonna want to do it because I've just saved the planet. You know, this is gonna show my bitch wife. It's gonna be totally cool. I mean, and just that's his inner monologue. That's not me, you know, being like sexist or anything. But come on, he's going, oh, she's my bitch wife. I've used the phrase bitch wife in many things. Yeah. So yeah, we get his. We get the bit when Tatiana compliments Jan's scarf, and.
Right, yeah.
And there's just this like nice bit of kind of women in male fields we're kind of find a friendly, nice, really positive connection because, you know, we're surrounded by all these dudes and it's quite nice, which of course makes things that happen later sadder, you know. But
yeah, I like this. Women in STEM helping each other out. I like it.
So yeah, like it's nice. It's nice. It's one of, like there are a few nice bits of writing that take place within this Operation Center. Jumping ahead a little bit narrative-wise, and I'll jump right back. But I liked the chess scene between Dubov and I think is it Mannheim?
The MIT son guy.
Yeah, Mannheim. And it's like, because obviously Dubov doesn't speak English, Mannheim doesn't speak Russian, but they're still playing chess because it's essentially like it's and there's no way to say this, it doesn't sound incredibly up yourself about chess, so I'm gonna preface it by saying I'm really shit at chess, but a really kind of simple game like chess is essentially kind of like its own little like languageless game. You know, all you need to do is set the board up, point at whoever's going first, and then all you need to know is the words check and the word mate, and you sort it. It's quite nice to see these guys just playing together. There's like the excellent like fucking non-verbal kind of acting that Brian Keith's doing as Dubov when he's like kind of getting in Mannheim's head a bit, messing with him with this you know, kind of things like.
Ooh, I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Wouldn't do that, but like all like done like through like little like movements. I found that quite funny. Then there's this excellent conversation between Dubov and between Bradley when they're discussing the theoretical space weapon.
Oh yeah,
the theoretical Peter the Great weapon. I believe there's a line when he's like, "Oh well, if the Russians didn't make it, who did?" And Dubov's like, "The Chinese." Like yeah, the Chinese made this weapon fucking named after like, you know, Peter the Great, who's a pretty big figure in Russian history and not a pretty big figure in Chinese history. I thought that was a great line. Maybe the Chinese did it. I love this. Oh well, there's a theoretical weapon.
And theoretical megatons.
Yeah, theoretical megatons, and I like a note. It's kind of I keep getting mentally flashbanged by what Sanya said in the group chat last week or the week before, about how imagine it was Ben Shapiro talking about like theoretical nuclear weapons and stuff. I'm just like imagining Ben Shapiro in that one scene, like just like little Ben Shapiro. It's horrible.
So let's say there was a nuclear weapon. As you say, let's say there was such a nuclear weapon. If such a nuclear weapon were to exist, would it have megatons? And if it were to have megatons, how many megatons would it have?
Incredible.
Another thing I love is right before that scene happens, the Martin Landau's general storms out because he's sick of basically not getting any damn respect around here. Because this used to be his ops room, and I'll let you science nerds argue out. I'm gonna leave, and then Sherwood follows him out. He's like, "Oh, I'll see if I calm him down." And instead of calming him down, he just flashes the fuck out of him. It's really funny. It's like, so I'll see if I can calm him down. And he goes outside and goes, "Oh," he's like, "Oh, you're gonna write a report, are you? Why don't you Xerox 100 copies of that report and pass that out among 100 guys in Washington, then organize 100 meetings to discuss it, and by the time that meteor will have hit, we won't have any more problems." And it's like, yeah,
I absolutely love that.
I don't think that calmed him down.
There was zero de-escalation there. Zero de-escalation. It was amazing. Just that line about like the 100 copies of 100 guys in Washington thing was great. I loved it, and it's one of the things that, like, it's one of the lines that really cements this as this is. Like I said, it's a disaster movie which has a colossal amount of DNA from the thrillers of the time, and it's something that does kind of set the film apart, I think. Like it's there's this like symbolism of meetings and documents and committees and stuff like that, and it's cool as fuck. That sentence was almost good. But yeah, I love how General Adlin, Martin Landau's General Adlin, just has a mantra. He just storms out. It's like, come on, dude, you're a fucking general in the US military. You've got what's probably one of the cooler fucking jobs you can have. It's super secret. The commute's piss easy because it's New York City. It's going to look really good for your career opportunities and your development and stuff like that, assuming the Earth doesn't get destroyed. And you just like fucking storm it out like a 16-year-old at a fucking underage drinking party when like someone like just dissed them, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's like, oh, I'm gonna have a mantra now and just fucking storm out. It's ridiculous. It's like, I mean, I've stormed out of jobs before, but I'm not a general in the fucking US Air Force, you know. It's bullshit, man. It's fucking bullshit. No one's paying attention to me. It sucks. I said, well, yeah, dude, because, you know.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be so bad, but he's got the temerity to get really pissed off, and the person who's pissed off at is the guy who designed the system that he runs from the ops room. It's like, I think the guy's got a bit of credibility in this meeting.
Yeah, he's like he's a subject matter expert. It's not like he's some like random civilian who's come in and said, "Oh, I don't think you should use nuclear weapons because it's going to damage the fertility rates of carp in the Atlantic or whatever." I'm aware that carp is a freshwater fish. I fucked up.
So, what happens next is we've blown through the week. It's Friday already, and we're less than halfway through the movie. And the next thing we see is it cuts onto Siberia, which is the first of our examples of fragments from the other bits of the shattered meteor coming down to Earth. And these obviously like your sort of disaster movie kind of big set pieces, because obviously if you have a big existential threat like a meteor coming to Earth and then they get rid of it before it hits Earth, then you haven't really got a movie. So they need to have some stuff for it to like satisfy the sort of disaster porn kind of thing. So they do it with these little bits of shards of the meteor. But this first one's a bit rubbish. So it's like it's a guy who looks shockingly like Bruce Lee, who's meant to be like a Siberian steppe person with his family. That's right, yeah. So then they look up and they see like the first sort of trail. So it's like meteor noticed, and then it's meant to be blowing like a blizzard, but it looks rubbish. It's just a standard kind of screen effect layered on top of the actual footage when they filmed it. And then there's a little bit where they go inside the tent, and ironically inside the tent has some snow. And then you get like this composite image where it flies behind the mountain range, explodes, and then the camera capturing all the action just happens to be on the wrong side of a mountain range. This family run away, and they're fine. And it was like, what the fuck was that? That wasn't a disaster.
Yeah, so when we're seeing the kind of precursor shards in Deep Impact, they do some serious fucking damage to planet Earth, don't they? So, like, looking back at Deep Impact, you know, there's correct me if I'm wrong, and if I'm wrong, we'll edit this bit out, but I'm sure with Deep Impact, there's bits of the Meteor flying ahead of it that are kind of the advanced party and do smack the shit out of a few major European cities. But due to the budgetary constraints of this film that walked so that Deep Impact could run, we see this really kind of unimpressive experience by this family of nomads, and I found it we had to watch because it wasn't clear to me in terms of like special effects driven storytelling if the blizzard was somehow being caused by like the meteorite fragment. Because the blizzard seems to blow the fuck up out of nowhere just as the shard comes down. It's like, what's going on, man?
It's also it's weird because they you see the blizzard blow up as the meteor's approaching, but they also have a perfectly undisturbed view of the celestial sphere. So it's like, where's the clouds that would come with the blizzard?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. I know that's like an absolute nit to pick, but yeah, it doesn't make sense, and it was a bit jarring to watch because it's like, well, yeah, it was very much a what's going on kind of moment. So we do see a kind of big landfall, I guess, in Siberia, and it's not especially impressive. But then, boy, the next couple of landfalls it gets are at least a bit more exciting, eh?
Oh yeah, big time. So I was just saying, so what they do next is they go to the UN, don't they, to kind of discuss it. And I think this is what it's meant to be, the thing that's meant to encourage Russia to come clean and say they've got their capability, but they don't yet. But what does happen is another great Jan and Alan scene, which basically, yeah. So it starts with a view on their countdown clock, and it says we're on day 5 of 7. So shit's about to get real. Then we follow Jan, a little tracking shot as she walks through the ops room, and then she meets Alan as he's walking the other way, and she's like, "Good morning. Did you get any sleep last night?" And she's like, "Yeah, I got a couple of hours. How about you?" And he says, "I played gin rummy and lost. What's the Russian girl like?" And she says, "Very nice, very bright, and forget it." And then he says, "I missed you." And then she turns around, walks back to him, and gives him a kiss right bang on the lips. And then and then he does a look as she's walking away, like, "I hate to watch you go, but I love to watch you leave." And then
he's like, "Damn!"
And then she finally finishes her journey, which was to deliver some papers from a telemetry report to Sean Connery, who glances at them for a second and is like, and it points at them to show Dupov. And then that's the scene where the women in STEM compliment each other's scarves.
Yes, that's right.
It is clear that he doesn't give a fly, and then he clearly doesn't give a fuck what's going on. Because like they're just sitting there looking at paperwork with pens, going, I could be doing maths about this. It's just I don't understand what's going on. And then Dubov goes to sleep, and then you have the first sort of flirty scene between Sean Connery and Natalie Wood.
Yeah, and I believe it's just the scene when he's very much like, "Are you married?" And then she says, "Well, you know, I was married, and oh well, that sucks." Then on my second husband, you know, and she's like, "Oh, he was a cosmonaut," and then Sean Connery's like, "Past tense detected." Oh, what's a cosmonaut? Like, it's like, and of course, it says he was a cosmonaut, but he died, and Connery doesn't even give her an "I'm sorry for your loss." It's like, oh right, okay, so well, fuck. I mean, it's not that, but it's like, so you know, hey. I mean, it's just like there isn't even a commiseration. It's like, yeah, well, cool. I'm gonna clap cheeks, you know. I mean, sorry, you know, yeah, like I'm sorry your husband died. Actually,
it's really vague as well.
Yeah.
She says he went on an exploratory mission and never came back.
Yeah. It's like,
where were they going?
I mean, we're kind of in a bit of an alternate reality because the film obviously isn't like, this is the distant future, the year 2000, you know. But we're in this like kind of alternate reality when there's a Mars probe manned. The Americans sent off. Maybe the Russians are going to other planets too. Maybe the Russians are trying to finally put a man on the moon, and he went off to explore, and I don't know, didn't come back. Or maybe it was more of like a personal exploration. Maybe he just got sent to the gulag, and that's what she's saying. Oh man, he went exploring one day. Yeah, he went exploring. Yeah, he made a few comments after a few bottles of Stolly straight up, and then they sent him to explore gulag. He's exploring for a long time, man.
He's exploring a salt mine right now. Yeah.
He's exploring the road of bones.
But we but we don't get a chance to get our heads into that because Saved by the Bell. Obviously, he doesn't. Connery doesn't offer a commiseration, a sorry for your loss. Doesn't get a chance to ask a follow-up question because then Trevor Howard pipes up from his TV and says, "There's bits of Meteor coming down all over Italy," and we get our second sequence of stuff making landfall over Earth, and but this one's wild. So we hit the action on a road in Italy somewhere, and a bunch of cars are stopped in traffic, and then we get a really weird ropey special effect of like some orange balls that are flying past the camera, going like whew, whew, whew. But they're all burning up in orbit, and none of them hit. So basically, the way they do this is they just show a tracking shot of all the cars stops, everyone getting out of their cars and looking up at the sky, whilst someone's flashing an orange light broadly at everyone.
Yeah,
it looks like it looks a bit like a music video.
I mean, when I first saw that scene, obviously on my rewatch of the film the other day, for a second I thought, are these people that are driving theatre or something? And then I realised, no, it's stopped traffic. But at the end, there's like at the end of the Italy sequence, there's this like shot of an older woman, and it's kind of like a head and shoulders kind of shot of her, maybe with a bit of her body as well. And behind that, just for a second, there's this halo kind of thing from the comet, and it's a very short fucking scene. And I wonder if like this was a bit longer, because it almost looks like they're going for a kind of like it's like a Madonna kind of figure, and like. But no reason at all, because there's no need for that kind of symbolism to be in the film. But it's definitely like, hey, wouldn't it be really cool if this Italian woman looked like image of Madonna from some like Catholic iconography or something, because it's Italy, and it's like no, cut it out. It doesn't work. It doesn't gel. You've got half a second of it, mate.
Yeah, it's like it's not even that long. It's literally like 0.3 of a second. You've got this elder lady, all clad in black. No establishing stuff around her. So for all we know, it could be like a weird reshoot. But there's nothing around her that says she's where she is. She's genuflecting at the camera, so you see like the spectacles, testicles. She gets the wallet, and then there's like a halo lit behind her, and then it cuts away straight away back to New York.
Yeah,
it's like what the fuck was that? I'll tell you what that was.
Yeah,
big Stephen King energy. That is what that. Very big Stephen King energy.
I was like, hey, Italians be genuflecting. Those Catholics be praying.
And then they're all like, so then it goes back to Martin Landau in the ops room, and he's all like, oh, all the bits just burned up, did they? Oh, so this isn't an emergency anymore, so I can have my ops room back. Seems like, this was a load of bollocks made up by a bunch of nerds. And Sean Connery was like, the actual thing's 5 miles long, you fucking asshole. And it's a great scene. But this private citizen chews out a force or general again. Fucking brilliant. And he totally deserves it.
It's like it's Martin Landau getting thinned out by civilians. The movie,
the whole movie, and it's like it's like Revenge of the Nerds. It's like all the geeks who work in his ops room were like, get this jock out of here. He isn't this boneheaded fucking stick jockey. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah, get out of here, Mister. I can do 3 push-ups. Fuck you. Nerds are in charge now, bitch. Pocket protectors at the ready. Fuck you. Fuck you, Sarge. The army's crap.
It's just great because you have just the incredible pronunciation of asshole from Sean Connery as well.
Yes,
asshole, get this asshole out of here.
He says words like asshole and shit and son of a bitch in just this inimicable fucking style. 5 miles, shit. It's incredible.
Also, I'm convinced that Martin Landau fluffed his line as well here, or it's just written really badly, and he never questioned it on the day. What is it? He's like, not one of your calamities come true. He has a big. He kind of is about to leave. He goes, as far as I'm concerned, not a single one will. When common sense is restored, and the president has returned to the control of this centre to me, I shall return to this centre, and then leaves. It's a really weird pause. He's like, yeah, when the president's returned control of the centre to me, I shall return to this centre. It's like, flags redundant.
Yeah, that's...
And then he storms out, and it's just like,
yeah, that's the part where he just has his like little paddy and just fucking storms out, and it's like, come on, dude, have some fucking dignity, man. The chips are down.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and then the Russian dude just starts flashing to himself in Russian. Just starts screaming to himself, and only Natalie Wood can understand him, and he storms away from her, runs into the room, picks up the phone, and he's obviously like, "Get me Moscow now!" and starts like gobbling off at Moscow.
But like, he can't use the fucking phone, and someone has to help him use it. Like, someone has to show him, doesn't he? Is it Bradley? Fucking yeah.
That's it.
Sean Connery goes through and has to show this high flying fucking academic how to use a phone. That's a gigantic America flex, mate.
Everyone's watching him. Everyone, yeah, that's it. Yeah, so he runs into like an office, which has got like a massive glass window, so everyone can just see him screaming blue murder to himself in this office, like an angry goldfish in a bowl. And then Sherwood like runs in and is like, "Oh, hang on, you pressed 9 for an outside line." He's like, "Of course!" Like big arms in the air, like, "Oh, that's how you use a non-rotary phone." Yeah. He's like, he actually does like probably like, and then like nods his head like, "Oh, that's how you use a phone. Oh, thank you very much."
Yeah, that's
there we go. If I can change, you can change. We can all change. Cold War over.
So yeah, and this is the point I think when he kind of uses his clout to get the Russians to admit that, oh yes, we also have a highly illegal fucking weapon, the Great Orbital Weapon Station, which has, I think, 2 more nuclear missiles than yours does, but ours is pointed out to space already, and it's not. Like, the first time you see footage of the Great Station, it's pointed directly at the Western Hemisphere. So I like that. So yeah, this is a point when they really begin to work together, and it's like, yes, we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, and they're gonna come together and just nuke this shit out of the Meteor. And this is when things start to heat up again, because now we get Switzerland.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm going to skip past all this stuff. I'm watching it on my thing. I'm just going to skip past all this stuff of slow motion shots of miniatures and missiles moving.
Yeah. So yes, we get
right, here we go.
Yeah, we get the fragment in Switzerland.
Yeah, and this is mixed, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like obviously they've went to Switzerland, they filmed it. There's a lot of practical snow around the place,
and they've reused footage.
Extras.
Yeah, they've reused footage from a film called Avalanche that was made, I think, a year or 2 before that.
I did not know that.
Yeah, man.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and it's just kind of with the like Siberian nomad family that like are involved. It's like there's not a lot of oh shit, I really feel for these people kind of thing. It's not like, it doesn't grab you hard, and these people at the ski like resort, they just seem like too smug for you to give a shit about them. It's like, come on, we've been skiing. Let's get some coffee. We're part of the fucking 1%.
Yeah, baby, hurry up. The coffee is getting cold. Shut up. Eat Meteor, you cunt.
Thank you, Sally. I was going to say, I was sure I was going to say your coffee's getting cold, but you obviously, being a German speaker, are they speaking German? Because it sounds like it.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, so...
So annoying, der Kaffee wird kalt. Shut up, you're going to die.
And so, yeah, so then we're seeing these people who they're just ski film people, and it's like if they weren't German and were American, they'd be like, "Hey man, we've got to get together and we've got to make sure that Mr. Meteor, the rich businessman, doesn't get to buy the mountain and turn it into a ski resort for rich people. We've got to beat the Meteor's son. He's the best skier. He's really rich, but we can out ski him because we're plucky and young." And it's like, fuck you. I don't care. It's like,
You're describing the plot of a movie that I'm sure exists. Hang on.
and like, so then obviously these people, they're fucking disposable. These people are disposable. They're like the first person to get killed in a slasher film right at the start. They're like, they're like nameless, faceless sorority girls and fraternity bros. They're just wiped out, and it's not especially impactful. This film, I'll dig into this, doesn't have much in the way of melodrama about it.
Yeah. I was just a quick look for the movie that you described, and it's the movie Ski School. It's got pretty much the plot that you described.
Holy shit! I was essentially made. I was fucking gestalting this out of half-remembered episodes of South Park and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That's not me being intelligent. That's me having a brain thing, you know.
Well, your gestalting is roughly on par with a coked out 1980s film executive, so pretty good.
Incredible. Yes.
You don't really get a sense of, oh no, they're all going to die each time there's something happening involving fragments, is there?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. It's just like people go about their life, and then all of a sudden it happens, and then some janky special effects occur.
Yeah. And this is the first time. Yeah. So, sorry, just going back to the skate thing as well. This is the first time we see real mass casualties as well, because we see the avalanche happen again that steals footage from Avalanche, the film, and just kind of pointlessly as well, we see that like news report, and there's the footage of all the people doing some kind of cross country skiing marathon, and it's like. So you get the news report that says, "Oh, this, avalanche killed a bunch of people at this resort, and also killed 70,000 people who were on a." It's like, oh, you fucking lead for the highest body count at the start of the fucking story. It's not that hard, dude. It's terrible. It's like someone had spent money on that stock footage of like skiing cross country marathon thing, and they needed to get the money's worth, and so that's why they put that line in, and it pisses me off so much because as a journalist, you lead with the most important bit, which is the major body count. It's not, oh holy shit! So like we've got reports of unconfirmed mass casualties at a ski resort. Also, 70,000 people on a marathon died. Whatever it was.
It makes no sense.
Yeah, no sense.
Because if they were going to do that at the start of the news report, then us watching the movie would have been like, well, why didn't we see those guys when we were getting the setup to the whole scene?
Yeah, exactly.
But obviously they haven't done that because it's stock footage. They haven't got any footage of an avalanche killing them all.
Yeah.
So they couldn't show us that happening.
Yeah, and the sequence even fucking explains itself when it's like the cameraman captured this footage before leaving, and it's like, come on.
They got on a helicopter and fled the scene minutes after this footage was taken. Oh, how convenient!
Convenient. Yeah, they'll be tormented with that footage for the rest of their lives. By the way,
is anyone's unidentifiable dead body wife in this footage we obtained just seconds before the meteor hit?
Oh my god.
If you see a bib number that you recognise. Yes.
I mean, they get that in there as well, don't they? It's like, oh no, there's so many dead people and we've got no idea who all these tourists are anyway. They deserve to die now for the next disaster.
So, yeah, some of them were unregistered. It's like they just like entered Switzerland illegally.
Yeah, they get into like a lot. They get like from a script perspective, they get into like too much detail about like, right, if you know who any of these people might be, report to this building on this street. It's like, what the I love that the guy doing the news report as well has one bloke behind him with a shovel shoveling some snow, but he's not like digging up in to try and get access to a building or to try and uncover where there might be a body. He's digging what is probably his own car out of the snow.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I have to work at the Swiss bank. I will not get the day off because of a meteor shower. You know.
Oh, actually,
no,
sorry.
Get out of the way, you stupid journalist.
I immediately apologise because actually they do show them getting a dead body out of that car, which is like, oh, okay, and they're putting it into a helicopter, and I'm like, you don't need to airlift the dead body.
Yeah, that's. I mean, they have their triage all fucked up at this point. It's like,
Oh, God.
put this one in the helicopters. They may be wealthy. If you can put some money into more numbered Swiss accounts. That's how Switzerland maintains rich, man. Fucking taking money from the people who die on its ski slopes.
There is. This whole tragedy has been made worse by the death of 12,000 cross-country skiers. I'm like, okay,
12,000.
cool little thing to throw in there. I've just, and then.
You know, I lost my favorite mug today. Also, a truck drove into my living room, but
yeah, it's like, sure, don't tell. Sure, don't tell. Fucking give us 12,000 people getting fucking marmalized, or just don't.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh well, on the subject of show don't tell, the next thing you see is Sherwood, the president, and another undisclosed third man watching that on a TV. But what it does is it does a really slow zoom out from the president's face as the rest of that news report comes in. And then eventually you get like a second after the news report finishes, nothing else comes on the TV.
Yeah.
And then he turns off the TV, and then they start the scene, and I'm like, fuck me, man. The pacing is all over the place.
Yeah. There's a lot of meetings. There's a lot of men talking in boardrooms. I love it. I think it's mint.
Yeah. This is a meeting for Sherwood to deliver some exposition to us through the lens of the president, where he basically says, right, okay, the space stations are on different orbits. We've got to fire the missiles at different times. The Russians are going to fire theirs first. Then we're going to fire ours 40 minutes later. Then 2 hours after that, it's going to hit the Meteor. And we don't know if it's going to hit. But if we don't find out, then we're all going to die another 2 hours after that. To which the president just says, you better blow up that fucking Meteor then.
Yeah. Like, come on, man.
It's just like,
real.
So proving that yeah, exactly. So why are you sitting in my Oval Office here in Washington? Get back to New York, you prick.
Yeah. I love that there's no like kind of great fucking Independence Day-esque speech, and there's no like, I don't give a hot gay fuck what Congress says. Legalize weed now. Kind of moment.
Yeah. There's not like an inspirational like my fellow Americans.
Yeah.
There is I think he does do an address to everyone like as it's happening, but he says stuff like stay indoors, try not to look up. You know, you'll know if it hits.
It's also weird. Like there's no I don't know, show of mass panic or something. Like the Americans are all pissed that they've learned about the giant meteorite from the BBC, so it's clearly made international news. Yet there's still like 12,000 people going, I need to go run a marathon right now.
Yeah.
I think subjecting my body to the physical torture of running a marathon in the Swiss Alps would be the last thing I would want to spend my final days on Earth doing.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get a new PB. Like right when Strava's not going to exist in a week. Like what's
I'm just gonna hit by a meteorite and Strava's gonna be like, poor rest time.
Could do better.
Where's your body battery now?
Holy shit. Brutal.
You raised a good point there, Sonia. And the reason they do that though is because to do that they would need to get extras. What this movie hasn't got, actually, what a lot of disaster movies do have, is like a handful of little locations where we see a tiny little like C or D plot unfolding, where we just get the reactions of like ordinary people. Like, where's the one diner we keep coming back to while they're watching the news and the patrons are like discussing it?
Yeah.
Like that's the kind of stuff. That's the kind of stuff we haven't got. We haven't got like the schoolroom with the teacher trying to explain it to her students or something, or that kind of thing.
We do have one moment that is like that, though. I mean, it doesn't keep coming back, but we've got this one tiny family in the tsunami scene.
Yes, the Hong Kong scene.
Oh, yeah.
You fucking know this scene was
Yeah,
there
but-
because Sir Run Run Shaw was the producer of this film, and he's like, "We're putting Hong Kong in this film because I'm Run Run motherfucking Shaw, and I have put a lot of money into this thing. We're doing it my way, bitches. Let's have some Hong Kong sequences."
Yeah, so the reason they don't do that is because they would need to get all those extras to film it.
Yeah.
But what they could have done to show general civil unrest is just like got some footage from any of the 10 zillion riots that have happened in America, like in the sort of 10 years prior, and just airbrushed out all the bits where it mentions the Vietnam War.
Yeah, I mean, Paul
Yeah.
Bradley says, "We've got race riots" at one point, so you know,
Yeah, he does. Yeah, that's a great quote. Yeah.
incredibly boomer as well.
Big time. So I think the next thing that happens, I think, is it before Hong Kong? Or is it after Hong Kong? No, it's before Hong Kong. Is the little Natalie Wood flirty scene where they go to the canteen together.
Yes, I love the canteen. I love how it's got like a kind of hotel style breakfast bar with the little like glass sneeze protector over like the kind of salad bar, and like they've got a couple of pinball machines and stuff, and it's all very kind of. I don't know, man. At the time, I just thought the little like kind of salad bar was really fucking funny, and
yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, and of course she's wearing the scarf, isn't she? That Jan gave us. Jan like wrote a nice note saying, "Oh, you like my scarf, kind of thing. I've ironed it for you. There you go." It's like, oh man, the East and the West are coming together through just people being nice to each other, you know. And
yeah, I like that.
Yeah, and here comes Sean Connery to try and fuck our brains out again. It's like,
yeah. Well, all right. So on this subject, she has done some background research on him as well. So
Yes.
she's like, I found out you're married, and he's like, and obviously that's the kind of thing that Sean Connery likes to keep him to himself, so, especially around new targets. But then she's like, says, "Oh, I asked Mr. Sherwood about it," and then they have this kind of conversation, which is a bit of a proto kind of Seinfeld Friends kind of type of discussion about modern relationships in America. So he's like, there wasn't any particular thing. We just stopped talking to each other. I guess it's what we call here incompatible. Which is, not that there's anything wrong with that. And then they sit down and they have their little chat. They have a sandwich or something. And you see those pinball machines, which for pinball machine nerds, it is a Space Oddity machine and a Skylab machine.
that's
So not the tie-in machine for the actual
Not the
movie itself,
tie-in
which is
machine.
weird. I don't think this movie felt big enough to have a tie-in pinball machine, if I'm quite honest. But there you go.
or even a fucking tie-in novel. Yeah, it does apparently.
Yeah. And the tie-in comic book written by Marvel comic writer Ralph Macchio, who unfortunately is not the same Ralph Macchio that's the Karate Kid.
Fuck, that would have been so good though.
It would have been so good. It would have made no sense. Like Daniel San, you were like 1 year old.
Not at all. well, it could have been a fucking prodigy, man. I don't know. We've already got fucking infant John Spencer fucking waddling around the fucking control room with his guitar and his distortion pedal. You know? I mean, why not have 1-year-old Ralph Macchio writing this for Marvel Comics, man? The world's about to get destroyed by a fucking large lump of pumice stone. Anything can happen, you know?
True. And on the subject of Ralph Macchio, we've also got a guy here who would probably, if they remade the Karate Kid now with the Mr. Miyagi in it, would be played by him, Clyde Kuzatsu, who's in the Hong Kong sequence. Clyde Kuzatsu,
Yes.
for people who don't know, was the bartender in The Officer's Mess in MASH, and he was in The Inside Man with Ted Danson last year. He's one of those great guys, but I don't want to get ahead of myself.
Yes.
So yeah, we go to the Hong Kong sequence.
Yeah, this is so good. I really enjoyed the Hong Kong sequence. It's the one sequence that really shows impending doom. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, of course, you've been told that doom's impending because, like, oh my god, there's a tsunami coming at 600 miles an hour and stuff. So you know that the doom's fucking impending. But it's when you do see people freaking out and you do see people starting to panic and there's actual actual real fear among people, and you do see like the real kind of quality of emotions coming out. Also thought it was really funny how that one guy decides to steal a fucking painting as he's trying to evacuate, you know? Like he's just like running away and just steals a painting, and then some kid steals an apple, and it's like, well, people are gonna be
I was going to say, there's a kid who steals the apple, yeah.
Yeah. And then there's that cut to that cockatoo. That cockatoo was the only survivor, man. It flew away. I'm calling it.
That's amazing. Yeah, this bit's really good. So they did go to they actually did go to Hong Kong to film this as well, which is fairly obvious when you look at the location. It's you can't recreate that, really, can you? On the LA backlot, but that looks really good.
Yeah,
I think they obviously went to, and there's a lot less stock footage on this. There's obviously the high waves are stock footage, and I think they've done some kind of trickery there to make it look bigger than they are. I don't think they probably are that. I don't think they're an actual tsunami wave. The effect of it's kind of lost because there's nothing to. Sorry, I just seen the guy steal the painting. Sorry. Yeah, the effect's kind of lost because there's nothing to get the scale against. So you kind of want like a proper like Godzilla movie kind of kind of like zoom out of the cityscape kind of thing, but you can't do that. But it's cool, and you follow this one guy who's like running against everyone else, like a salmon going upstream trying to get to his missus. So you do get like one really tragic, like they get together, they finally like meet, and then it's curtains for them, isn't it?
Yeah. Just make it around one corner and then get swept away.
Even then, it's not especially played as like heartrending. It's like it's not schmaltzy, I guess. It's not like, you know, oh my god, at least we're gonna die together. It's like, oh, they're fucking really scared, and they're running, and they don't make it very far because no one fucking does. I mean, when like you look at the film in the context of 1979, when of course Hong Kong is a densely populated city, right? But at that point, when Kowloon Walled City was still there, Hong Kong was insanely densely populated. So with kind of like time appropriate context knowledge, this is the point of the film when it said, yeah, this is the real death toll. This is like millions dead kind of thing, you know?
Yeah. This kind of reminds you of the tsunami in like Phuket in like 2004, doesn't it? Like that kind of death toll. It's annoying because there's some pretty good shots with miniatures, where you get the sort of the scale of the waves against buildings, and then there's quite a few of these sort of janky composite shots. One particularly bad one where like some really obviously badly composited waves come around a corner on a street, and then there's the control room where Clyde was chatting to Campbell, where you see them kind of waves coming out the window and then it smashes through and he gets murked, ending that sort of that sequence, kind of on a bit of a damp squib. I think the best shots of that happened about 30 seconds prior.
Yeah, man. And again, Clyde's got the whole get out, oh no kind of thing, and then he dies, and that's like the last of the fragments, isn't it? Because the next one's like the big one that's on its fucking way.
Oh yeah. So the next thing you get is like sunrise on the
fragment.
Yeah, I think the next thing you get is the sunrise on the final day, and it's the president's voiceover, kind of laying out the exposition, laying out the stakes once again for us. In about 15 minutes, the Russians are going to fire their rockets. 40 minutes later, we're going to fire our own, and you get like a big establishing shot of New York and the World Trade Centers. As the sun's rising, then it cuts to Henry Fonda in the Oval Office delivering the address and stuff, and it's like, right, okay, here we go. This is the last day. And I did wonder at this point when I was first watching the movie, like, how are they gonna? Because they've already explained that once the rockets are fired, it's kind of a fire and forget thing, and the rockets themselves have their own internal navigation and target acquisition capability.
Yeah,
which is obviously very common nowadays.
Yeah, their own decision making processes, I think the film called it.
That's right. Yeah. So obviously the big question lingering over it, with nearly a third of the runtime left, is what's going to happen at the like 11th hour that's going to make like defeat apparent, and how they're going to pull it back, because once they've fired the rockets, which they're about to do, there's nothing left to really happen. But oh boy, did something happen.
Oh yes.
And this is when Trevor Howard kind of really lets everybody down, doesn't he? Really screws the pooch.
Yeah.
So you get like an elongated sequence here of the rockets getting fired, which plays out exactly as you think it would. It's pretty boring. The music's great. actually during this, but that's pretty much the only thing. And then you get Trevor Howard rings from the UK and says, "Oh, by the way, I know you guys are all in New York. Well, in about 2 minutes, a massive shard's going to hit you, and I've only just detected it now. So yeah, sorry."
Yeah, sorry, man. Yeah, we're fucked up. You're on your own.
Yeah. And then he's like, "Peace out, bye."
Yeah. Peace.
But before that happens, sorry, I just remember. Just before that, Martin Landau comes back in again for one last time, and he's just like, "Hey, look, I'm really sorry about earlier on when I was flashing. I was really angry. I just want to apologise." And Sean Connery is just like, like doesn't say like, "Oh, apology accepted. Thanks very much." He's just like, mm-hmm. And he's like, "Right, well, I'm going to leave right now." And that's him. He pretty much nopes out for the movie after that. I think he dies like a minute later.
He dies very, very soon after that. Like his fucking Sean Connery's minimal reaction to him was very much like the kind of Don Draper "I don't think about you at all" kind of scene, isn't it? It's like it's just like a minimal response. Okay. just fucking
he's like right. If like, look, if there's anything, any help you need with anything, I'll be at my office. It's like, oh yeah, cool. If we need you to write a memo to the Meteor, we knew where to come to.
Yeah, if you need to have another embarrassing fucking tantrum and bring the uniform into disrepute and make yourself look like a dipshit in front of like a senior member of Soviet academia, we'll know where to call you, man. We'll know where to find you. If you want to make the military-industrial complex in America look fucking stupid, we'll give you a shout. We'll page you.
And then the next thing happens is they get the information that the shards is like the one big fragment is going to come and hit.
Yeah.
And then almost immediately after that, we get our big sort of disaster sequence. I think we get we get some more imagery of the missiles heading towards the meteor, and then we get New York getting twatted by a big fragment.
Yeah. We also, just before that, we get the report that one of the missiles has run out of juice or gone off track or something. But it's never really built on. They never really kind of use that as like the straight way. Oh, one of we've lost control of one of the missiles. But there's enough to hit it. It doesn't matter. It's like,
yeah. This brings me neatly to the point where at the beginning of the movie they were talking about how America had 14 warheads of 100 megatons each.
Yeah.
And the Soviets had 16 warheads of 100 megatons each, and combined they're just enough.
Yeah.
But then neither country fires their full salvo of missiles at the Meteor.
My interpretation of the film was that they did, but we'll have to do some suspension of disbelief because I think with the simplicity of the models, I don't think they had the capacity to, in the model work sequences, make it look like it was firing more than 4 of them.
That might be it. That's probably it.
It looks like they're doing some sort of salvo firing in the end, but they don't show another launch sequence after the first 4.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's probably it. And then we get the big meteor hit, which is this is another one of those sequences which is a mess of stock footage. But there is one fucking mental bit of the meteor going directly through the Twin Towers.
Holy shit! Right.
Yeah, which is like, oh my god. Obviously, back then it was just standard disaster movie stuff. But like, obviously, looking at it as now through a post 9/11 eye, it's a bit to see. And then there's just like loads of stock footage of like routine stuff like planned building demolitions.
Yes.
And and like but they put like a red filter over it. That's it. Yeah, this is literally like an old block of flats gets knocked down, but they put like a red filter of it, so it's meant to look like evoke the atmosphere of fire and presumably lots of dust particulate in the air or whatever. And then there's just lots of close-up shots of fire and stuff. It's actually a little bit like the nuclear blast bit in Twin Peaks: The Return, episode 8. Just not as mental. And then they have bits where, like, obviously their underground base is starting to fall a bit. That really nice bloke Mannheim gets trapped under some falling rubble and bits and bobs. People get hurt, and then it keeps like cutting between like stuff like that, like a light fixture falling over, or the little countdown board falling off the wall, and then it cuts to like a ginormous like close up of an explosion and stuff like that. And so it's very much just cobbled together.
It absolutely is, and it is
Yeah.
it is still, for the fact that it's cobbled together from bits of junk. It is not the worst kind of sequence of mass destruction I've seen in a disaster movie that's kind of put together with not a lot of original footage and stuff. You know what I mean? It actually is like quite effective at showing like a bit of the old devastation, but then we'll have the river of shit that enters the command center.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yes.
I agree. I do think it's pretty effective,
Yeah.
and I think what lends to it is just how relentless because it goes on for quite a long time.
Yeah, it does. It's wild.
And that's I think it goes on for about 3 minutes, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're just watching like a montage and just explosion sounds, and Sean Connery ducking every now and again, it does go on for like a long time. It does feel a bit like, oh my god, this is actually pretty serious. Like, and then you get like a weird composite kind of shot thing of the devastation it's wrought on the city, where it's just a massive crater.
Yeah.
That's like 20 blocks wide.
Yeah.
That's
that's
pretty wild.
Yeah, that actually looked quite impressive on the film as well. Like that's one of the few. Well, I mean, I guess it's like a matte painting more than a special effect, but that didn't look bad.
Yeah,
that didn't look bad. So that was pretty cool. Just this long kind of gouge cut out the city was excellent.
Yeah, that's some of like Ronald Neam's like old school chops coming through there, like definitely. A good use of a matte painting.
Yeah. And it shows that like he's deploying it to good effect, you know.
Absolutely. So then, as you said, the river of shit comes through. Yes. So apparently they're next to a sewage line. They're also next to a subway. Yeah. And you get this really weird image of Sean Connery, who's meant to be this really cool guy. He's the lead of our movie, and he's just covered in human feces. And he's the first person who gets covered in human feces as well.
Yeah. It's great. It's like the film's like, right, we're gonna fuck you over now, Sean, and like, yeah. So it's either sewage or river water, and I like to believe it's the Gowanus Canal because, as all bored to death heads know, the Gowanus Canal has herpes. So. Oh no, it's a gonorrhea. The Gowanus Canal has gonorrhea.
It's gonorrhea. It's gonorrhea, I think.
Yes, so the Gowanus Canal has gonorrhea. However, Sean Connery's character already has turbo gonorrhea, so he can't be infected by the Gowanus Canal. This is the reason the Gowanus Canal has gonorrhea.
It's all a result of this.
Sean
Connery gave the Gowanus Canal gonorrhea.
I'm Sean Connery. I'm infecting your waterways with gonorrhea.
It's like like the Scarecrow.
Oh my god! Holy shit! Like the Batman. Jesus Christ! Batman, I'm infecting your waterways with herpes and gonorrhea.
So,
sorry.
So this gets really weird now. So they're trying to escape from the underground bit. Sean Connery kind of clambers his way up a set of stairs. I think he's going towards General Adlan's office to see what the crack is in there. Yeah. He sees Adlan's dead, and then he's obviously trying to go up to get a way out. And there's a really weird shot where he's looking up. Clearly the way out is blocked, and they're going to have to go down and around. Yeah. But he's looking up, and then the camera pushes in on these two eyes. And then eventually, it just snap cuts to the Meteor again, as if he's been looking up at the Meteor this whole time.
Yeah, it's wild. It's incredible.
Yeah, and it's just another one of those like. Meanwhile, missiles are approaching the Meteor, and then it cuts back to them again. They decide they need to go down and go through the subway, and this is very much, I think, again, Roald Neame going back to his comfort zone of like, right, I did the Poseidon Adventure, and there's one thing I can do. It's people getting wet, escaping from an enclosed space. So that's what I'm going to do now.
Definitely, we're gonna cover them in liquid shit, and we're gonna just have them come through some tunnels, and they're gonna crawl and fight their way to the daylight, and it's gonna be fine. And then I can cash my goddamn check.
Yeah. And this goes on for ages. This is like you see everything. You see people like making a little pusser's chain to like a chain of people to like move debris. They get onto the subway tunnels, which look suspiciously dry and stuff. While this is all happening, I think the Oval Office is getting an update. The Kremlin's getting an update on where the missiles are at, but nothing's happened yet. So you just get that again. You get people with torches trying to find what's going on. Then everyone gets drowned in a river of shit. And eventually they go through the subway station. The subway station's drowned in shit, but they're trying to make the way up. I think they have to barricade themselves into like a space underground, which is dry, before they dig their way out. And that's where they all are. So I think the last thing we get is everyone's covered in shit and they're piss wet through. They're in a subway station. They're nearly at the surface. There's people up top, I think, who are going to have to dig their way into them, but they can't get out. But now the time has ticked down, and the missiles should all be making contact with the meteor. So the movie takes a bit of a sideways bit, and we get this weird, quite long montage sequence of all the missiles hitting the meteor.
Yes, and it's like...
Do you remember this bit?
Yeah, it's brilliant. And like they're just kind of flashing between the front of each missile to show, ooh, we're working in collaboration with the Soviets, yes. And it's like...
Yes, that's it.
Yeah, it's like... I know writers use subtext and they're all cowards, you know?
But that's exactly the bit I was going to bring up, though, is like the way it flashes between the two missiles really, really quickly. It's like this movie does not care if you have epilepsy. But like, but these bit where you have like American missile, Russian missile, side by side, they fly in together, flash cuts between them. It's it's pretty mega. It doesn't make any geographic sense. It's
No. You missed the bit as they're getting out through the subway station when they inexplicably run into a couple of stereotypical New York City prostitutes who were just hanging out there.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and one of them, it's great. Yeah, and they look like properly like dolled up, and it's so cliche. And I thought one of them was Stockard Channing, but I couldn't find a credited or otherwise. But this only came out a year after Grease, so I don't think it is.
And you know what? They both look like they're just... I mean, they are completely unflapped by it. They're unfazed. They don't give a shit. They are made of strong stuff, these women. It's like a massive object of space debris has hit New York City with atomic fucking force, has carved a gigantic gouge through the city, probably killing hundreds of thousands of people. And these chicks are just sitting there smoking like, yeah, whatever. Shit, you know? Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah. It's actually amazing.
It is awesome. So needless to say, this is when you pull out and get another shot of Manhattan being absolutely like trashed by the meteor.
Yeah.
But it is also like meant to be the establishing shot that says like, boom, it worked. So I think they get the news reported down to them, like they've got like a radio, haven't they? Then someone yells down to them or that it works, and it's been confirmed. So then they eventually get dug out. I think it doesn't even show them escaping from the subway, does it? It just cuts to like whatever parade they have to celebrate.
Yeah, like it doesn't really like it shows there's a bit of the rescuers breaking in, but there's no kind of them being manhandled out scene, because then that would require some kind of outside location footage, and it would be more money. And this is a big budget film apparently as well. This wasn't like a film made on a nothing budget, but it's one of these films when I can't see where the budget went apart from maybe Sean Connery, Natalie Wood, Sean Connery, Natalie Wood,
Henry Fonda,
Malden, Henry Fonda, Martin Landau. I mean, it went on the cast, didn't it? It went on the cast, and I mean, the special effects guy was just someone's cousin that they brought in. It's like, hey, yo, this is Jeff. He's my cousin. He's got a few ideas, man. You know, it's like, hey, man.
I mean, the cousin was third choice as well.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
So they did like a bunch of different experiments with the special effects. I think that what we're left with is like the third attempt of them trying to make something work with a constantly shrinking budget.
Oh my god.
That makes sense, man. Because the one thing I do think about this is that they haven't got what they haven't got is like a consistent uniform look for like the meteor or the shards or anything.
I think there was an issue with even the missiles. Like the miniatures were too small to film them properly.
Yeah. Wow.
So that might even explain why they didn't do the further launch sequences.
They should have done like here's me. I've got many years in the film industry, obviously. Here's what I think they should have done. Me, a guy talking 40 years later, is obviously the Weta Digital like bigatures that they did fight Lord of the Rings. That's kind of what you go bigger, and then you've got like more options. I don't know. Fuck me. I don't know what I'm talking about.
You just want an excuse to talk about Lord of the Rings.
I just want to say bigature.
Bigature. I like that, bigature.
I'm Richard Taylor from Weta Digital, and here are some of our bigatures. Yeah.
Yes.
That guy's a legend. That was done entirely out of love for Richard Taylor.
You do the best impression as well. Yeah, holy shit. So at this point, I need to quickly kick back as well because there's the celebration scene before all this shit happens when some bottles of Stoli are produced and there's some Stoli straight up being drunk. And of course, Dubov raises a toast and he toasts something that taxi driver said to him. Now, there's controversy about this because it's believed to be "fuck the Dodgers." Now I know as a Houston Astros fan, you have no problems with this, but like it does sort of sound like "fuck the Dodgers" to me. There's certain cuts of it that have a recording of someone coughing over it as well. So,
like why?
So in one cut of the film, there has been a bit of coughing over it. The sketchy, shitty scripts website I looked at, which I think just does like AI generated fucking transcription, has him saying "walk the Dodgers," which doesn't make sense at all.
Right. Yeah.
I want to believe it's "fuck the Dodgers."
It's got to be "fuck the Dodgers," and it's got to be like it's someone else's expense on the production, isn't it?
Yeah, it's gonna be a little production fucking in joke or something.
Yeah, what is it? LA Dodgers, isn't it? So it'll be like some Oakland A's fan or something like that.
I love that. And then it kind of ties us into that just like fucking brilliant scene when like they're saying farewell and they're going to the Russians are going to the plane to go back to the Soviet Union, and someone gives Dubov and here's a gift, and he's like baseball, and he looks at the fucking baseball bat.
It's glass, isn't it?
Yeah, baseball. So fucking good. But yeah, man. And then that's.
Oh, sorry, I was going to say that's almost it. So he gets the baseball bat, and it's like, baseball. And then there's a second here where I genuinely thought, because Natalie Wood is not making any moves towards the plane. So I thought, is she just going to quietly defect from the USSR?
Yeah.
But no, she sticks around. She sticks around for like about another 30 seconds just so that she can have a bit of a smooch with Sean Connery.
Yeah.
And like they let her get on last. So theoretically, right, if you're boarding a military aircraft like this, like the most important person gets on last.
Yeah.
So the interpreter of the great scientist who's just snogged Sean Connery is the one that everyone's waiting for. There you go. Dubov's at the top of the ladder as well, so he's kind of there just waving his goodbyes to the assembled military personnel.
Well, I mean, maybe like she's his KGB handler, and she's got to make sure that he actually gets on the plane.
Yeah, he's like, yeah. He says to her, "I think you'll be back someday," and she's like, "Perhaps." And then she kind of stares at Sean Connery like, "Yeah, she might not be, she might be, but whatever happened here, she enjoyed it."
Yeah, like she's looking at him, he's looking at her, and they're thinking, "We're gonna fuck the Berlin Wall down together."
Tear down that wall.
And 10 years later, it happened. That's amazing.
Mr. Scientist, hit my back walls. I'm probably going to edit that one.
That's amazing.
But yeah.
This is how we say goodbye in Russia. Yeah. Then you get a final. Weirdly, they put too much time on this. They give you one last shot of Alan, the assistant, who's also been invited there to watch, and he kind of does a slow clap, but obviously you can see the pain in his eyes because Jan died. And then, which we didn't cover that actually. You see a horrible shot of Jan's like bloodied face in her hand, and it looks like. Oh, I took a picture of the hand actually. I'm going to just confirm now whether or not she was wearing an engagement ring. because it looks like no, she wasn't. So he didn't even get a chance to put a rig on it.
Oh, man.
Sad. So you get a last shot of him, and then it cuts to the plane taking off, and then this is you get this weird thing at the end here, which is I suppose they've done it to like cap off the movie, but they equally could have done this at the start of the movie so that people could have enjoyed this fact. They go in 1968, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, a plan was designed to deal with the possibility of a giant meteor on a collision course with Earth. This plan is named Project Icarus.
Yeah.
Which isn't the name of the movie.
Yeah, which isn't.
Or is mentioned at all in the movie.
Or any bearing whatsoever on it.
But I bet the movie at some stage was called Project Icarus. And they just haven't changed the screenplay or thought to about how weird that is that they've just put that in the end. These people are called Blade Runners. You know, like
Oh my god. So yeah, man. And that was the film. Now let's get into the categories that I believe Mike has locked down.
Oh yeah, let's go through some categories.
Yeah.
So the first bit is casting, stars, and that guys.
Yeah.
I haven't really got any good casting information for this. I don't think there's a lot of good information about there on the internet about this movie because it's not a classic by any means.
I can spurb a little bit about the casting here. Brian Keith.
Oh, go for it.
Brian Keith has some degree of crossover with the kind of subjects we're going to be doing. Brian Keith who played Dubov, who I'm looking at his IMDb now, and he has the most rectangular shaped head. What an absolute fucking dude. Brian Keith has made a career of playing people who are either very American or very, very Russian. Obviously, he played Dr. Dubov in this. He has played, in the past, Davy Crockett in a mini-series about the Alamo. He's voiced Buffalo Bill Cody in a TV mini-series about the Wild West. And in a mini-series called World War III, he played Secretary General of the USSR, Gorny. This show, this mini-series, by the way, sounds horrifically doomed and insane. It's a very grim, very bitter mini-series about World War III kicking off, released in 1982, starring David Sewell, Brian Keith, obviously, and Rock fucking Hudson as the president, baby. And
I'm in.
You know what? I think we'll have to watch this at some point. I'm not going to go too much into it, but it's like it's grim. It's like I've read the plot summary, which goes into quite depth, and it's like if Tom Clancy listened to like a full album of proper doom metal before he started writing. Like if you took a couple of downers and listened to like a couple of Sun O albums, it's just depressingly bleak sounding. Like it doesn't have a good ending at all.
Oh my god! I'm just looking at it now. It's got Jeroen Krabbe in it as well.
Yeah.
He was the evil general guy from The Living Daylights, and he was the bad doctor who set up Richard Kimball and The Fugitive.
That's right.
So that's me immediately in.
And speaking of The Fugitive, as well, speaking of, Brian Keith was in the unscreened feature-length pilot of the original TV series The Fugitive.
Oh,
wild!
Amazing.
See, everything is connected, man. It's all connected.
It's all connected.
Yeah, he himself, Brian Keith, is an absolute that guy. He's been everything. He played Uncle Ben in Spider-Man, the animated series. He was in an episode of fucking Duckman. He played Duckman's dad. He played Major General Charles Buford in the film called The Second Civil War. Holy shit. He was in Walker, Texas Ranger. He was in Touched by an Angel. Quite a few people from this film, I think, ended up in there, if I recall correctly, from just like flipping through things. And there's a bunch of people who did like some very much that guy bit part kind of things.
Oh, well, on that subject, I need to give props to Catherine de Hetra, who is the woman who played Jan.
Yes.
Because I'm looking in her filmography, and it's not that extensive. So she got a start on an episode of The $6 Million Man. She did this movie in 1979. Her most active years were like 1979, and then not very much afterwards. So she did Meteor. She did Being There, that movie with Peter Sellers. And then she was in an episode of Quincy
Holy shit.
in 1983. She was in Murder, She Wrote. She was in Saint Elsewhere in 1988, and that was her final acting role.
Man.
Final bit I've got is there's a few cameos in the movie. So I already mentioned it's not really a cameo, but I remember like a very young John Spencer in the movie. There's also a cameo from the director Ronald Neame, who is the representative for Great Britain in the UN.
Oh my god! Wow, that's amazing. I had no idea. That's excellent.
Yeah. That's pretty good. And I don't think there's any of the really big ones that we'd recognise in our day and age. But maybe if you were like an avid TV watcher back in those times.
Speaking of casting as well, I have to say something. So Roger Robinson, who played the officer of indeterminate rank with the moustache in the operations centre, does anyone else think he looks like a young Neil deGrasse Tyson?
Yeah, he does. The world's biggest internet killjoy. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's casting.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a category that I think we've got some good entries for. So best quote in the movie. So there's a ton of them for me. I think we've talked about a couple of them already. But I'm looking through the IMDb list for them right now. And some of those are better than I realised they were at the time.
Yeah.
So the one I think I'm going to go for, even though I've said a couple already, is Paul Bradley. Where he says, and I think you mentioned it already, it's like, you'd like it here, you know? We've got everything. Power cuts, strikes, unemployment, race riots, and a terrific crime rate.
The riz.
Like, the 70s.
The riz of this man. You like it here, it fucking sucks ass. There's some incredible quotes in this film. Obviously, why don't you stick a broom up my ass so I can sweep the carpet on the way out is brilliant. I also liked just the way he delivers the line, shit, 5 miles. It's like I can't explain why it made us laugh. Like, shit, 5 miles. It's 3 words and it's so fucking clunkily written. I didn't think it was possible to write 3 words into such a fucking brick of text. Shit, 5. It's not good, but it is good.
There's definitely like a vibe of this movie being coupled together on a first draft. Like all the talking scenes were just the first draft, while they spent most of their time figuring out how to do the effect sequences.
I love just as his first response to Natalia saying that our husband didn't come back. This was, and now is there anyone? It's like, what the fuck, man? And it's like, how about now? You know. Yeah, it's eminently quotable, but not for really great reasons. Like, for me, definitely quote of the film is probably the line about you can hide your heads under a blanket of shit if you want. I'll be in the bar. I think that's the quote of the film for me. It's like
that's amazing.
A bit hard to go past that.
Yeah, like it's like let me just pull up the exact line as well. So if you think you can prevent it by burying your heads under a blanket of shit, fine. If you reach a decision, I'll be in the bar across the street. It's like I love how it's like, if you reach a decision. He doesn't even trust these people who have got the destruction of the earth looming to come to a decision. He just has zero respect for these people, and that is just an excellent line. He does not respect or expect anything out of these people other than indecisiveness and shithousery. If you idiots can finally fucking decide, I'm going to be drinking scotch, watching TV, and probably asking all the female bar staff how old they are.
Yeah, your classic pub perv.
Yes.
The other thing, another thing I love about Sean Connery in this is that at no point in the movie get a demonstration of his mastery or his genius or his intellect?
Yeah.
We're just told that he invented the thing and left to crack on and assume that he's the best. Like his establishing character shot is him sailing, which doesn't come up again, and he doesn't do anything particularly brave or intelligent or requiring a quick thinking during that. So it's just a bit like, who the fuck is this guy? And like, why is he just walk around the place with a terrible attitude? We've got nothing to demonstrate that he's a genius.
It's great. I love it.
It's not like, again, like to bring back like Independence Day. It's awesome, but like, if you look at like Independence Day, which is a movie which establishes the characters, all of them much better. Like Jeff Goldblum's genius character in there is demonstrated like almost every scene. He has like some kind of breakthrough. Says he looks at something from like, some kind of like lateral thinking or something like that. You understand like why he's the genius nerd, and he demonstrates it through the movie. And like nothing Sean Connery does. I don't think Sean Connery does anything in this movie. Like I don't think he's responsible for anything apart from getting to reach an agreement between the USA and the USSR.
Yeah.
And actually, really, it's Martin Landau being told to fuck off that does that.
It's Martin Landau's complete loss of control and dignity. And then Dubov fucking just flashing and going into the little fucking little fish tank room, and then failing to use a telephone, but eventually, being able to work this decadent Western technology, and then he's one lights a fire under his own people. But
but you don't get the scene. You don't get the scene where he's stood in front of a blackboard and he has a eureka moment, and then he draws a diagram for all the assembled scientists that explains the concept that they're now going to work towards.
Yes.
Like he hasn't got the bit where it's like, right, here's the moon, here's the Earth. We're going to slingshot around using the orbit. They haven't got like that scene where they draw on the blackboard, or the bit in Contact which was repeated in Interstellar, where they have like, here's how a wormhole works, and they fold a bit of paper and they jab a pencil through it. Like there's nothing that shows him being a clever scientist that should figure this stuff out. He's just a drunk dick for the whole movie. That's my hot take. I've got it. That's my hot take. Sean Connery's just a drunk dick for the movie.
It's a blistering take. He's a dickhead. He's a fucking absolute penis for the whole film. If we look at his general shit-cattery around North America, I wonder if this man could be one of the many people who were candidates to be the father of Sterling Archer. We never did find out who Archer's dad was, and I wonder. It's like he fucking wanders around and just drinks and is a dick to people, and yet somehow people are absolutely kneeling down to kiss his ring at times, not all the time, but for the most part. Paul Bradley is like, oh my god, this guy's a super genius, and you're right, he does dick all. He does dick in this film that's scientific. And it's almost as if Sean Connery couldn't be bothered to I want to do nerd shit in this film. I want to sail a boat and kiss a girl. And they're like, okay, man, you've Sean Connery, you've got some pull, you've got some box office pull, you're done with being Bond, but you're still going to bring people in. You know what? You can just be a total HR nightmare through this entire film. You can be a menace. You can be Sean Connery, father of incident reports. You're the man that I have safety briefs now because of, for everything. There is now a standard operating procedure. Yeah, there's a standard operating procedure for talking to women now, thanks to Sean Connery. Sean Connery's character's existence actually invented sexual harassment policies, because they're like, this guy was trying to smash while the world was about to be destroyed.
There's annual mandated training now because of him.
Yeah, it's like you have to go on the Sean course if you've like said inappropriate things, and like you're just like sent out to just get angrily thinned out by loads of people who are just sick of the shit that Sean Connery's now wrought upon. It's like, but
should we do another category? Cool. Do you want to fire into some notes from the peanut gallery?
Notes from the peanut gallery. Yes, there's a lot. There's a lot of notes from the peanut gallery on this film. I was having a lot of fun today on Letterboxd earlier before we started recording. So there are great reviews of this film. 2.5 stars. I just saw the 2024 total eclipse pass over my house. It was cool. I wanted to watch a space movie, so I threw this on. It was bad. We've got is a 5-star one. Better than Star Wars. Basically a cinematic revelation. The transition at the start was awesome. It's nearly as good as The Simpsons, for a close comparison. When you watch this, you might be surprised that it is so good, unlike SpongeBob in modern days. That was a trip. The immediate next one, 70s disaster films are the absolute epitome of my kind of shit. Heart emoji, 5 stars. Agreed. Sorry, 4 stars, fake news. Following this one, we've got a bit of a change. We've got a 2-star one. Nothing self-owns your movie like boasting a climactic sequence where a monsoon of shit pours down on the entire cast. Should have just trained oil drillers to be astronauts to neutralize the asteroid.
Oh man, I was thinking during that movie
Yeah.
that what was really missing was one, that Ben Affleck's audio commentary, and two, an Aerosmith song.
Yes.
And Will Patton from No Way Out as well.
The No Way Out. The fucking the letterbox reviews are full of references to oil drillers and Michael Bay and Armageddon and stuff. So yeah, 1.5 stars from someone, from a gentleman called. Now I just want to say, notes no peanut gallery. We don't use this to call people out. We don't use this to say, look at this shit person's opinion. It's just stuff that I find funny. It's nothing deeper than that. But I do like a good username, and this is from a gentleman called Mr. Sneaky Man, which I like. 1.5 stars. An archive cheese dick special effects and miniature work. This was a dumb film with a bad romance shoehorned in it for no apparent reason. Martin Landau goes big in his role as the idiot general. The tension is laughable, and the hiccups that are expected in every disaster film are hilarious in their utility to the writer. They manifest as fragments of the asteroid that can crash into Earth at inopportune times. Funny because the writers don't have to set anything up. The fragments can just hit whenever, without warning, and they can strike literally anywhere on Earth. What fun. There isn't a satisfying end to the would-be doomsday asteroid. It just kind of blows up with some god-awful explosion effects. Part of the job involves what should be a high-level diplomacy, but it's resolved by Connery giving the "you know we are not so different, you and I" speech. Yet, in spite of it all, it does manage to pull off a certain charm, and it is entertaining. Leagues better than Armageddon, if only because it doesn't have Michael Bay tripping over his own dick every 15 to 20 seconds. Now we have one that's a lot less thought out, a one that's much more off the cuff, stream of consciousness. 0.5 star. What the heck was this? It's so dumb I lost IQ points watching it. A meteor is heading towards Earth and the Americans and Russians must join together. Blah, blah, blah. All caps for those ones. But graphics and maps are so awful it's not watchable. And every actor born in the 1900s was in it. The older the better. Sean Connery was so angry. Brackets. Probably because he had to act in this film. Close brackets. Note from Rory, possibly, right? He pouted the entire film. He truly has lines like this: "Why am I here?" As he enters NASA boardroom. That's actually fucking brilliant. And when he agrees to attend a NASA meeting tomorrow, he actually screams, "Why don't you stick a broom up my ass? I can sweep the carpet on the way out." What does that even mean? It's the worst, all capitals, film I ever watched. I love it. 1.5 stars. Cute miniatures and models, but this movie fucking sucks, man. Sorry. Oh, Jesus. It's like last episode all over again. Cute miniatures. Rory, do it for America. Cute miniatures and models, but this movie fucking sucks, man. I really hated Martin Landau almost as much as I.
It's the best bit of the movie.
Almost as much as I hate myself. And it ends with a sunglasses smiley emoji. That's brilliant. Thank you so much, Dutch, for the 1.5 star. You fucking absolute king.
Oh, it's amazing. I take issue with the guy who said that they shoehorned in a romance. I take issue with that because there was no romance.
Yeah,
like they have one conversation like in the mess hall, and then at the end of the movie they kiss on the runway, and that's it.
Yeah,
they don't have a proper kiss, and then they're not even in the center of the frame when it happens.
Yeah, they're not. Fucking. Oh God. I've got one more to fucking pull out, and it's someone who's actually sort of reviewing it as they're watching it. It's not exactly a disaster movie, question mark. More like a politics movie about disaster. Very fair point, actually. Okay, I said that before the Swiss sequence and the Hong Kong sequence. The disasters are fun. So many good practicals. The resource for tedious turning missiles, capitals, sequence. Scarf interactions. Okay, it's kind of boring. 3 question marks. But also post 9/11, all the New York footage, the wide shots especially. Am I right? Don't miss Sybil Danninger's Skier Girl. The synth noises on the Meteor. I really like this total stream of consciousness there, because the synth noises were wild, weren't they? Because you had some like doomy kind of synth, but then also they pressed that particular button that made it go as well in the background, and it's like
So here's a fun little factoid then about the sound design for the movie. So the score is by a guy called Lawrence Rosenthal.
Yeah.
He replaced. Bear in mind, this is 1979. He replaced John Williams, who was originally down for it.
Holy crap!
Who had obviously just come from doing fucking Star Wars. So I would say it was a bit of a downgrade.
Yeah.
Clearly, the success of Star Wars upped his rates somewhat.
I can imagine John Williams probably cleared his decks of a lot of pretty shitty contracts and stuff after Star Wars hit.
I think the next year he would then go on to do Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark. So I think he was a pretty busy guy with good movies after this.
Definitely, man. Looking at the soundtrack as well, I think the score, there's some points when the music and the score is just quite incongruous. Like it's like there's some scenes in meeting rooms with playful woodwinds and stuff, and it's like I think they brought a guy who just had like sheet music ready for like from like a previous cancelled project he was on. He's like, look, there you go, put it in.
As a weird little bit of connective tissue, Lawrence Rosenthal himself hasn't got a great deal of really, really famous projects behind him. So around the time he was doing Meteor, he did some stuff I never heard of. Oh, he did 7 episodes of Fantasy Island.
Holy shit!
Fast the plane. He did a adaptation of The Island of Dr. Moreau. He did an episode of the TV series of Logan's Run, and then about 10, maybe 15 years later after this, he did a bunch of episodes and the theme tune for the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles.
Holy shit!
So he he would take over from John Williams again, much later in his career.
This is like a Mozart and Salieri kind of relationship, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's just finding all these bits of sheet music for the Han Leia theme, or like a Binary Sunset. Like, these are the original scores, no corrections. Just right. It's just music just pulled out of his head.
Oh, so good,
it's perfect. It's beautiful.
I would like to propose a category when it's films like this that have a kind of ridiculous super weapon in it. Is all the super weapons in this film militarily valid in terms of doctrine and in terms of their use, their existence? Is there a point to them?
That's a good question. An orbital nuclear missile system, which is held in a stationary orbit over your adversary's country.
Yeah.
Good question, isn't it? Because it implies that you're going to remain adversaries for the foreseeable future, and that you're going to get away with doing this indefinitely. It's you're asking for trouble, aren't you? Really?
Yeah, you are.
Unless you declare it, you're just setting yourself to get like exposed by the UN and make a dick of yourself. Yeah. That's what I would assume.
And I mean, as a weapon of like global thermonuclear war, it's not that much of a force multiplier if it's just like 12 ballistic missiles. That's I mean.
Yeah,
it's useful, I guess, as a first strike weapon, but you're up against an adversary who's not going to not nuke you back. I mean, even if he used all these 12 missiles to just like glass Moscow and everything else that was the fucking Duchy of Muscovy. There's going to be a fail deadly in place. Their submarine captains have letters of last resort, and everyone gets glassed. It's
Yeah, so you raised an interesting point, and I'm gonna be the guy who shoves his spectacles up his nose for a second.
Yes.
I was just
Yes.
reading in this I was just reading in this season's Naval Review some letters to the editor about about the use of Great Britain's nuclear deterrent. Now, obviously, it's written in the current political context of the Trump presidency 2.0.
Yeah.
And without going into too much detail, I mean, this is all open source. I'm not saying anything out of school because I don't know it, primarily because I'm not a submariner. The British nuclear deterrent is Trident missiles, as everyone knows the name. They are supplied in an agreement with the United States of America, and they basically, to oversimplify the issue massively, give us permission to use them. So if we were in a situation where we needed to defend ourselves, our doctrine at the moment is a little bit vague at the grand strategic level, but it's colloquially known as a second strike weapon, in that we wouldn't go out of our way to nuke somebody else first, and we wouldn't aim to escalate to a nuclear conflict during a conventional conflict. But the point that was raised in that Naval Review letter was if we can't quite trust the sound judgment of the United States and we're a close partner of NATO, do we really want to have a nuclear deterrent that is tied to the US's wishes? And do we even technically need a nuclear deterrent? And they're arguing, it's a regular contributor to the journal, is arguing that since France has a independent nuclear deterrent of its own, and we are basically in the same bubble as being part of Europe and NATO with France, is Great Britain in a position now where it needs to downsize and maybe eradicate its nuclear offensive capabilities in order to focus on the conventional homeland defense because of the state of the military at the minute. It's a bit of a massive can of worms.
Yeah.
And it's basically to spark debate about the state of military defense budgets at present, which is not fun to talk about. So I'm not going to go too much into the detail on the podcast. But in answer to the original question, why would we need an orbital first strike capability when we have submarines that have got each submarine has about, well, depending how many bombed up at sea at any one time, have got roughly the same amount of missiles, and then each missile inside of those has another 16 warheads, which can be independently dispersed around the place. So obviously it's different technology from a different era, but I think having stuff out in space already that's nuclear warheads, I mean, replacing it when it needs to be replaced, and what you do with the warheads that are out in space, you can't bring them back down to Earth again. So, what's the point?
And I mean, you couldn't even categorize Hercules as a second strike weapon because it's under one of the cities that would be turned into a glass car park by Soviet first strike. The eastern seaboard is getting nuked till it glows, man. I mean, if you wanted it to be feasible as a second strike, fuck you, fail deadly kind of weapon, you'd have the command center under somewhere in just butt fuck nowhere in the sticks that nobody would want to drop a nuke onto, you know?
Oh, you'd put it under Alaska, where striking that would risk striking Russian territory.
Yes, there you go. Did you know that there was at least one actual Russian orbital station that was armed during the Cold War?
I think I heard a rumor, but that was just bullshit.
So this has been my my Mandela effect for years because there was a space program called Almaz in which the Russians did launch these crude military stations, these like recon stations, and they had a fucking autocannon mounted on them.
That sounds really metal, actually.
That 23mm cannon from the tail end of a Tupolev Tu-22 bomber. I think it's mental that they actually had autocannons in space, and they fired it as well. They've tested it at the end of the
Something
mission
from
by firing
Moonraker.
20 rounds, apparently, when the station was operating in uncrewed mode. The Soviets had the only known armed crewed military spacecraft ever flown, and nobody seems to make a big deal out of this thing, but the Russians had a fucking space battleship, man.
It's mad, isn't it?
It's fucking nuts. No one makes a big deal of it. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
Oh, it's weird.
Yeah.
Space warfare.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Right, ML Kua, MZ Kua of the movie. So, most likely course of action. I'm talking about Sean Connery's character on completion of the events of the movie. What do we think he's most likely going to do after this? Probably go back to his racing yacht. I guess he's going to... He's probably going to forget about Natalie Wood in like 2 weeks' time, and he's going to just be at somebody else probably. So probably the wife of one of his mates already.
He's also going to go through an incredibly messy divorce because he's going to sign a book deal about what's happened, and then his bitch wife is going to take take like half of his takings from the book tour, and
he's gonna use the yacht. He's gonna lose the yacht in the divorce.
He loses the yacht in the divorce, and then she writes a subsequent book about him, showing the real Paul Bradley, but he just doesn't give a shit because he's got no real human emotions.
Most dangerous course of action then. I reckon he gets the yacht. Okay, this is the most dangerous. He actually did fall in love with Natalie Wood, and he defects to the USSR, where he then takes his and Duplov's expertise together to improve the Peter the Great system.
Holy shit! Yes, and this is how we'll have Command and Conquer Red Alert.
Space!
Gone to the one place not polluted by capitalism. Space! That's absolutely right, man. Another potential most dangerous course of action is he defects again to see Natalie Wood, but then he speaks out against the wrong person and he is sent to the gulag.
And he has disappeared. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if Natalie wouldn't.
Natalie wouldn't. Oh, man.
Okay, would this movie be better if it had Jack Ryan, Dr. Richard Kimball, or President James Marshall, brackets, get off my plane, close brackets in it?
Holy shit.
I think it could be improved by making weird jokes, including Sean Connery's presence and Jack Ryan.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah!
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, so you're thinking Alec Baldwin, Jack Ryan.
Yes. Like get some weird Hunt for Red October-y things in there.
Yes. Oh my god, you couldn't it be brilliant?
Yeah, there'd be oh man, what could it be? Be like I'm definitely tracking like a one ping only kind of joke somewhere.
Yeah, or it could just be Alec Baldwin just stumbling out of the ruins and saying that next time he's gonna write a memo.
Yes. Or this film is like yet another canonical explanation for Jack Ryan's bad back. You can have like a B plot with Dr. Richard Kimball. Just kind of, you put in this film's melodrama that it doesn't have as a disaster movie. Richard Kimball is like doing his best to get to his wife before the one-armed man kills her. It's too late.
Yeah.
It's too late, and he just cries over her body as their apartment in New York, where they were staying at an Airbnb or whatever, gets wiped out. And the one-armed man escapes. Clean getaway.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Brutal. I reckon you could do a President James Marshall bit from the start of Air Force One, where he's doing the speech, because that's another example of a time where the US and the USSR have worked together to catch a dangerous person.
Yes.
In that case, it's a separatist from Kazakhstan, but in this case, it's going to be
Yeah.
Meteor. Would this movie have benefited from Lieutenant Commander Samuel L. Jackson, U.S. Navy? The answer is always going to be yes.
Yes.
I don't know how yet, but I think he could have talked some sense into probably that fucking general. He could have talked Martin Landau into stepping the fuck down a lot sooner.
Get your motherfucking shit together.
Get your ass down, like something like that. I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing. I don't remember.
Say meteorite one more time. I dare you. I double dare you, motherfucker.
Does Sean Connery look like a bitch? Yes, you did, Martin Landau. Yes, you did. Is this movie?
Samuel L. Jackson, despite being outranked by Martin Landau, when Martin Landau has his mantra and storms out, Samuel L. Jackson follows him to a part of the stairwell where he knows there's no CCTV cameras, and he just fucking bitch slaps him. Like, he just fucking hits him with his ring hand, and he's like, straighten the fuck up, General. Now that's a flex.
That's awesome. That is a flex. Right, I'm keeping score on this. Is this movie pro or anti-CIA? This movie's fairly ambivalent about the CIA, but in a way that I think makes it anti-CIA because the US intelligence infrastructure, which clearly is probably got the most interaction with the USSR, where diplomatic channels aren't so good, you think would be more involved. So the fact that there aren't any CIA people in this, even though they definitely would be in real life, implies to me that it's pretty anti-CIA because they obviously don't trust them to sort this stuff out.
Agreed.
Yeah.
The final category, penultimate category, the Ding Chavez Award for missed opportunity in the movie. I think I speak for all of us, where I say that the Sean Connery Natalie Wood romance is not explored anywhere near enough detail.
Yeah.
Also, the cross-country skiing event is not dealt with in anywhere near enough detail.
Yeah.
They could have made it a real fucking bloodbath, and they didn't.
And they could have put a lot more sexual tension in there.
Yeah, they could have.
Yeah,
they could
definitely.
have.
They could have had I think, actually, safeguard on this. I think a phone conversation with the estranged wife to kind of cover off the, hey, we might all die. It wasn't all a waste of time. I did love you once. And I love the kids. Are they on the phone? Can I talk to my kids, please? That doesn't happen because he doesn't give a fuck, because he's a dick.
But it's wild. Again, this film doesn't have any of the melodrama that you'd see attached to disaster movies. Like,
it sort of has the emotional depth of a paddle.
Oh, big time! Like a movie like this, for a modern audience, it would require you to have like an entry point for the audience. Yeah. A character you can get behind and insert yourself in, and other people's stories so you can see the effects of what's going on to other people. You don't get any of that in this movie. It's trying to ride off the strength of the effect sequences, but they're not that good.
Yeah,
no, I don't think they were that good even for the time.
They're really fucking bad. There's no real Joe Everyman character in it. There's no like guy who's just trying to get his kid back from school. There's no one like that. I mean, the closest you get to Joe Everyman is Sean Connery, because he's not like a member of the military-industrial complex. He's just a guy who's got a boat, but he's also a colossal fucking dickhead. So like, you know,
he's a dick, and he's got a cunty mustache and he cuts around to this stupid sheepskin coat. Like, he's not relatable. Like, there's nobody like him. He's Sean Connery. Like, he's not an everyman. He's fucking ex-James Bond. Should have been Peter Falk.
Oh my god, yes. Oh, just a weird little guy stopping the meteorite. Yeah,
really like a genius guy who shambles along, you know, and he'd call his wife again.
The closest we have to a weird little guy like that is actually Dubov.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
this should have been his movie.
Just fucking all shot in unsubtitled Russian, and just really, really abstract and depressing. Right. Next category.
Final category, guys. Command and signals. We got any call signs? I'm going to go for the same call sign for Sean Connery that I gave to Bryce when we did No Way Out, which is horn dog.
Oh my god! Fucking get in.
Yeah, that drags. Actually, we could just give him what he calls other people and could just go with asshole.
Oh yeah, asshole.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and Natalie Wood would be skirt probably
oh my god.
in his parlance.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Fucking is. I totally forgot to be assigned call signs in the last podcast episode. Hold on. Give me a second. So, what, what, oh my God. What would Dubov's code name from the CIA be?
Oh yeah, that'd be great, wouldn't it? It's something like Chad and like American sounding, wouldn't it? Be like Mickey Mantle.
Mickey Mantle. I mean, Dubov's head is so fucking like cuboid, like rectangular, that I think they'd call him Blockhead, but without the without the K, because he's Soviet bloc. Yeah, you see. I like that. I like
nice.
that. Dubov's fucking class. I wish he had like a spin-off. Or like just like fucking there's like a sequel when Dubov goes back and he's like just like too like Western society pilled, and he gets like super into baseball, and it's just like a kind of comedy of errors when like a bunch of KGB guys keep trying to gulag him, but he keeps like accidentally escaping them and stuff.
He's the guy who convinces Mikhail Gorbachev to do the Pizza Hut advert.
Misha, Pizza Hut, baseball.
Pizza, baseball.
Baseball.
Look at this cheese pull. Look.
Stuffed crust.
I think it's amazing to me that you did a fucking Pizza Hut advert. Jesus Christ. So yeah, my question is, the last film I watched, I think we could all agree that it was absolute solid gold cinema. My question is, did we enjoy this film?
I did enjoy it, but I enjoyed it within the context that I knew we were going to do a podcast about it. I don't think. I'll be honest with you. It took me like having two important. I bounced off it twice before I got through it.
You said you kind of.
And that's part of that is because I could only find it on YouTube and it was at 360. What's it called? Pixels.
Yeah.
So it wasn't the highest quality, but yeah, just a combination of the pacing. Because it's really slow to get started with all the meetings and flying around the place just to hear about this Meteor.
Yeah.
Fuck me, man.
And then the special effects take you out of the story quite a bit at times.
Yeah.
The special effects are worse than Hawk the Slayer. And Hawk the Slayer used fucking silly string and bouncy balls to represent magic powers.
Yeah. Oh man, Hawk the Slayer. Yeah, so I think it was all right. I don't love it. I probably won't watch it again for a while, if ever. But but I don't regret it either.
Yeah.
I think it's good. It filled in a viable black spot. If I was doing a Ronald Neame retrospective and I was watching all his movies, I probably wouldn't bother with it again.
It doesn't make the cut when you've got like the Poseidon adventure and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, it really does. It's more like something for a long train drive or something. But like I enjoyed it roughly about the same amount that the film tries to elicit emotions from the viewer.
Not much.
Not much at all.
You mentally sort of treat it the same way that the film treats all the disasters happening. It's just
Blasé,
there.
Yeah.
Delivered with the same importance as Alan's gin rummy game.
I played Gin Rummy and lost. It's such a fucking Denny line. He's like Denny from The Room. It's fucking. I just like watching you guys. Fucking hell, man.
But Rory, did you enjoy
Yeah, I
the movie?
fucking loved it, man.
Yeah, I was going to say you've got to come batting out. You got to come out batting for your
Man,
movie.
I fucking love this
Big
film. It's. I think it does almost everything wrong. I think it's put together with too many producers involved with it. It's got like something like I think like 6 people as producers, both credited and uncredited in total. There's obvious bits of it that were just put in because someone with a lot of money bought into it. Instead, like for instance, the Hong Kong scene. Run Shaw is like, I've got a lot of money. I'm a big guy in the Hong Kong film industry. Have a scene in Hong Kong. And it turns out one of the most emotive and best scenes in the fucking film. And that was just that because, Run Shaw put the money up for it, clearly. He also has one of the most fun names to say in the English language, Run Shaw. Sir Run Shaw. Fucking come on, man. No, I enjoyed the film. It's stupid as shit. A lot of it is absolutely nonsensical. There's actual plot holes in it, not just what some people call plot holes, which is just things that aren't explained in detail, which is a pet peeve of mine. Like, there's literal plot holes in this film. It's Sean Connery just clearly. I think he was just wearing his own clothes for this film. It's like
there's a pretty significant continuity error between him getting out of a car to go to a meeting and then arriving at the meeting, which implies to me that he was just wearing his own clothes each day on set.
Hey, so Sean, we don't have any budget for costumes other than paying your salary. Which of your weird clothes that you already have would you least mind getting human feces on?
It's like, we're gonna dump the fucking Gowanus Canal on you, man. You're gonna walk out, your STDs are gonna have STDs. So pick a shirt that you don't like. Maybe one your bitch wife bought you, yeah?
Oh, I love it. Apparently he wore his own clothes for Highlander as well.
Man, his casting in Highlander's fucking amazing. So you're playing an ancient Egyptian immortal whose name's Ramirez, and he carries a Japanese sword, and he speaks with a Scottish accent. Yes, Sean, for fuck's sake, he's Scottish, okay? Jesus Christ, go play golf or something.
And I'm the Scottish character, and you speak French and only French.
But yeah, so I enjoyed this film. It has loads of bad decisions being made by the people involved in making it. I think at times it's unintentionally funny, but yeah, like I said, it's an enjoyable film, and something about it charmed me. It charmed me with its.
It charmed you.
It seduced me.
Seduced you with its technical details. It's the amazing special effects.
And I just want to say as well, Natalie Wood speaking Russian, just really nice thing to see, you know?
That was cool, actually, yeah.
There's like loads of comments on Letterboxd that are either like, Natalie Wood speaks our own language, oh my god, gorgeous. Now it's like, Natalie Wood and Keith, what's his name? The Dubov guy, oh, just making noises like Klingons. It's like, work it out, which is which. It's a charming film. And I am probably not going to read the novelization of it. It's probably very difficult to find. But if we end up doing Patreon episodes, we could do like a fucking Clear and Present Dudes book club when we read fucking like books that are tied into these films and see how bad they are.
Man, I would do that one day if we get to the point where we need support to keep the thing going. Yeah, big time. Cool. Awesome. So what are we watching next, gentlemen?
Well, Sanya, it's your pick next, brother. So tell us what we're watching.
There's a good, probably something with ships
Excellent.
in it. I'm not quite certain which one of the many films I'm going to pick, but
excellent. So we'll see you for the next episode for something ship related, which is great because obviously the first two episodes have had at least a bit of nautical sequences in them. So we're gonna get Ship Pilled continued for the third episode of this podcast. Once again, tonight we've been Clear and Present Dudes, myself, Rory O'Toole, my friends Mike Dunbar and Sanya Bjorkson. It's been a great night. Boys, I'll leave you to say your farewells, and let's call this excellent episode to an end because I think Sanya's a bit tired, and so am I.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Good night, everyone. I'm Mike D2049 on Blue Sky and on Threads, and that's me. Good night.
Absolutely.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in today. That's me, Sanya from Germany, and see you the next time.
Excellent, thank you, Sanya. The social media presence for this podcast is Clear and Present Dudes on Instagram. You can find me on Twitter at Rory O'Toole. That's Romeo Uniform Alpha Romeo India O'Toole. And hopefully see you then. Tune in for the next episode. Bye, everyone.